to give a defense of American exceptionalism.
Arm yourselves, America. It's time for some offensive defense.
Starring B-Ray Tom Cruise.
Dude, I said that my name in the beginning. Pay attention.
In an hour-long epic for the minds of this generation. Do not miss this. Defenders Live on MoJo 50. 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Live free.
Yeah, what he said. MoJo 50, Defenders Live, 9 p.m. Monday through Friday.
While we run train on the progressive agenda, does she know she speaks street? Didn't they get mad at Brett Kavanaugh over the whole run train thing?
They got mad at him for liking beer.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. Ship has landed. Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, the mighty MoJo 50.
Oh, it was so close. I think the trajectory was off just a smidge, and they're calling it. I think they're. Well, I have audio. Let me just play the audio. That was the sound in space. It was the size of Big Ben, they say, over in London. This thing was 86 meter. Damn it, 86 meters. How long is 86
Convert that to feet,
meters?
please, because I live in America.
Crap, 86 meters. It's like 200 and some odd feet long. This thing was huge, and it was traveling at 30,000 miles an hour, and it almost hit us.
But is it extinction level size?
It could have been. I mean, I've long said that the only two hopes I have for mankind are Yellowstone erupting or Mars attacking, and I think this was Mars attacking. They just needed to adjust their trajectory.
I am so glad when I listen to you in the morning, that you are one of the only people who actually recognizes the potential of Yellowstone. You realize
it's gonna blow.
It's already over 70,000 years overdue.
Yeah.
It erupts once every 400,000 years. This is what happens when you don't sleep and you go down the YouTube wormhole.
Yeah.
You Google like YouTube, hey, I want to cook a steak tomorrow. Find out how that is. And then 3 hours into it, you're looking at cats and sweaters.
But then why bother? Because the Earth is ending.
There you go. So Yellowstone will blow. They said within 24 hours of it blowing, more along the lines of between 4 to 8 hours. If I'm in Chicago, my car will be covered in like ash, like a scene out of Auschwitz, and
it's going to be done.
What was that? Schindler's List. Yeah, we're done.
Oh, we'll be toast. Yeah, if the Martians had just aimed a little bit better with this giant space bullet, we would have been toast. It missed us by 3.6 million miles. That's all.
That's not that far.
No, that's only 15 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon.
15 times.
15 times.
We've never been there either, so what does it matter?
I know. That was all in a warehouse in Arizona.
Yep, Stanley Kubrick.
You know, the last time a meteor hit was Tunguska? 1,000?
I knew a girl named Tunguska.
Went to a party one time with her.
Yeah. She went to a party with a lot of guys. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
Where's that bell? I gotta man the bell. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, where's the bell?
You got
Thank you. Being bell deficient. There's too damn much to do in this chair. Izzo and Staggs for Doc Thompson. He's on vacation. Doc is taking an extended leave of absence.
He's still dead?
He'll be back. We have to dig him up. He'll be back. 1908 was when this thing hit in Tunguska. 80 million trees were knocked down. 800 square miles. I'm telling you, it's our last best hope.
1903. So what state?
It was in Tunguska. That was somewhere in Russia.
Okay.
It's probably just a Russian
That explains
host.
why some of those people are born with like you get the hot Russian women, but they're born with like the Chernobyl moles all over their body.
know.
It's like you are gorgeous minus that quarter-sized brown thing right above your right eye that there's no way in hell I could ever be intimate with you because I can't stop staring at it.
And your nose is directly under one of your eyes.
But for me, you make one money, I give for you the sex.
But that thing with the little finger, just saying. I'm telling you, who wishes the meteor or the Mars space bullet had hit? Jesse Smollett.
Yeah, it's getting bad for him.
He is the gift. He's better than Ocasio-Cortez, quite frankly. Hang on. He's better than Ocasio-Cortez, I say, guy.
Cortez.
That's better. He's the gift that keeps on giving. So here's what the experts are saying as the news continues to trickle in. Latest out of Chicago, the two Nigerian brothers who've been cooperating fully, I'll bet they have, with police after being detained last week, say that not only did Smollett pay them to stage the racist and homophobic attack, but that Smollett sent the infamous letter threatening himself to himself.
Yeah. Did you see the actual letter?
I never did see the letter.
You need to Google the letter. And a couple of years ago, like when the interweb started getting big, and everyone started posting around funny pictures and whatnot, there was these drawings from like third graders that were going around, and people were commenting very hateful things about them. Like somebody had a 5-year-old kid who drew a fire truck, but it was a hairy fire truck.
Right.
The stick figure hanging from the tree with a gun pointed at him. I just want to leave it at that, and I want you to look at it, and you'll give your reaction. It is priceless. It looks like he went beyond full 3-year-old waterhead and sat there and drew it, and it was priceless. He went overboard.
And then didn't he put like Tylenol, crushed up Tylenol or something?
Aspirin.
It was supposed to look like anthrax or something.
Sure.
The early 2000s called. They want their anthrax threat back.
Ooh.
If Smollett has falsified the police report, that is a Class 4 felony. I don't know what that is, but boy, that sounds...
That's the bottom line. In Illinois, that's a bottom line felony.
So worse than a Class 3 felony, isn't it?
No, Class 3 felony. You go upwards.
See, that's silly.
4 is the baseline. 4 is the baseline, then 3, then 2, then 1, then X, and then...
X?
Yeah, Class X felony, like rape and murder and stuff like that.
It's a Class X?
I'm sorry, Ron Larkey F. and Farkin says, when Yellowstone explodes, it'll be worse than Ron's poop.
Yes, but Autron Teal can help.
Yeah. I will say congratulations to the MoJo on saving money. Just in case you were wondering at all, the motion detectors in the bathroom 100% work.
Don't they though?
I had to wipe in the dark, and I'm okay with it.
All you gotta do is push the door open, dude.
That's maybe I like it in the dark. It was more intimate.
Stand up and wave over the top of the stall.
How long were you in there?
You think I can reach over the stall?
Look, if you're in there pooping for more than 5 minutes, the lights are going to go off.
The light went off. How long do you have to be in there for the light to go off?
I'm very regular.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, if it's the bathroom / library.
Oh.
You need more fiber. Just saying. They're saying that he'll probably get probation if they find out that he did do it.
How is that fair?
Oh, it's
How
not.
is that fair?
It's absolutely not fair.
You today could leave here. You can get pulled over by a Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth guy, whatever it is, and you could get stopped for anything, and you will be held in a much higher standard than he will be. And it bothers me that everybody across the nation will wind up being pursued lawfully, and he's going to get off on a. He's. You guys are getting tag team on the bells that I by Brad and me.
You know that he pleaded no contest in 2007 to 3 misdemeanor counts from a DUI in L.A. He gave false information to the cops.
So he's got a pattern.
He told the cops that he was his brother. So this goes back all the way to 2007. I have a feeling that when this whole thing started, Chicago cops were like, "Oh man." Mm-hmm.
No, none of us. Every people asked me my opinion the first time it came out, and I went, "It's a lie." And I was
it smelled wrong.
Normal people, you know what? Can it really smell wrong? No normal person with any coherent line of thinking thought it was true.
Steve Greenberg is a Chicago defense attorney. He said prosecutors could also file a charge of obstruction of justice. He said it was likely, though, that Smollett would be allowed to plead to a misdemeanor and not serve jail time. Quote, "They're not going to ruin a guy's life over this," end quote.
Excuse me? How many lives have been ruined with all these false things? Kavanaugh,
Right.
the kid from the kids from Covington
Right.
Catholic School.
Oh, wait till you hear what he's doing. I got that coming up in a bit.
Yeah, but this is amazing. These are ruining lives because someone
Yes.
like me who still has a haircut of a goofball cop and I'm white, I can walk down Chicago. Who says that some angry liberal is not going to throw eggs and piss at me or something because of this?
Or bleach, even worse. Ruin your shirt.
It's not wrong.
He says people make false police reports all the time. They get into DUI. They call police and say my car was stolen. 90% of the time, even if they're charged with a felony, these people end up pleading to a misdemeanor.
It's not the same.
Smollett has already retained 2 criminal defense attorneys, Victor Henderson and Todd Pugh.
What?
The legal firm of Henderson and Pugh. Pew, pew. They've denied that Smollett had staged the attack, and of course they have, and said he'll continue to cooperate, although he's not cooperating.
No, his lawyers don't want him talking.
He'll continue because every time he opens his mouth, he says something stupid. His lawyers may have maybe having a psychiatrist examine the guy, just like you said, so they could prove, so they prepare some kind of psychiatric defense. It's obvious the guy is not right, and that's the thing. I mean, you don't.
What actor is? You get paid to pretend for a living. You don't get to face the reality of your world. Half these actors, look at Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx when they played respectively Bobby Darin and Ray Charles.
Right.
The movie's done. It's out and produced. All of a sudden, they are Bobby Darin and Ray Charles for like a year afterwards.
Or who was the guy? His brother, often Christian, not Bale. Guy in front of the Viper Room in L.A. And he played Walk the Line. He was Johnny
Cash.
Walk the Line. What was his name?
His brother died years and years ago.
Yes.
River Phoenix.
River-
It's River Phoenix's brother, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, that's Joaquin.
Yes.
That's it. Remember,
He went nuts.
Remember, he
went nuts.
stayed in
So
some
does-
weird character.
So does Liv Shriver.
Yeah.
Or not, excuse me, not Liv Shriver. Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, he's
Shia LaBeouf's
just nuts.
insane.
We've
So
got to
these
do a
actors
Shia
are insane.
LaBeouf update. sooner or
No
later.
Lev Goldner. I did not get a high chair today, and but thank you.
But
Appreciate that.
By the way, Lev was the one who sent the booze back there.
Aw.
So thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
listening. Have you ever dated a theater chick, though? I mean, theater chicks are...
I've dated strippers.
Yeah,
They're on stage.
Yeah.
They're on stage.
They're not the same as a theater
No, they're
chick.
crazy. They are crazy.
Theater chicks are... They're in a class by themselves. Now, Jesse Smollett's brother and sister... Jaquai and his sister, his brother Jaquai and his sister Journey.
How do you spell Jaquai? P2 7X and a question mark tied in a knot.
With a-
Jaquai.
with a hashtag at the end of it. They have come out as naysayers on yesterday. They said their brother was the victim of a vicious media, which has turned him into a villain. They, on an Instagram post, Jaquai shared a Malcolm X quote, which reads, "This is the media, an irresponsible media. It will make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he is the criminal." I don't disagree with that, but in this case, you've got it 180 degrees off. Says, if you aren't careful, the media will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. What does this have to do with oppression?
I'm going to tell you, Joe, just like with AOC and everybody else, there are people who are going to agree with them and believe them.
See, his sister, still his
too.
brother, Jaquai,
don't know.
tweeted, said, "I have a feeling even if we have a video of Jesse Smollett being attacked, y'all would still discredit him."
I hate that word, y'all.
Oh, that's a great word, y'all.
No, that's a Texas
What
thing.
y'all
That's better than
doing?
Do you remember years ago, I mean, when ain't was not a word announced in the dictionary? I don't know. Maybe I just like proper English, but
Oh, it's changing. Forget it. The whole, I mean, "your" is "you are"
Yes.
now. And remember, literally can now mean figuratively. So,
oh, right, because you say
Yeah.
literally.
uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So now, then that's if you look up the definition of literally now, it could mean figuratively. That's how far we've come with language. And another twist in the Jesse Smollett case, the Cook County State's attorney has recused herself from it.
Kim Fox. Not like she was going to do anything anyways.
All right, so what's her deal?
So Kim Fox proceeded or was succeeded Anita Alvarez, and she had prosecuted real big on prosecuting cops out in Chicago. I think she prosecuted like 36 cops or whatever. So she was not a cop's state's attorney. So or no, maybe Anita Alvarez was our news correspondent there. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Anyways, so Fox gets elected. Literally in Chicago, you could have a gun charge, like, hey, we got this guy, he confessed, he's got a loaded stolen gun here and that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they go, yeah, no, just let him go.
Really?
But here's the process a lot of people don't understand. It's called felony review. So police officers can arrest anybody for a misdemeanor without approval from anyone. I don't know how it is in Texas, but in Illinois, if I arrest somebody for a felony, I have to call the on-call state's attorney to get approval for charges. So you got a gun
while
here.
you're arresting them?
Yeah, so you sit in a room with me, or you're by yourself. I'm in the jail. You're in the jail, and I got you in custody. I call and I give the state's attorney the facts of what's going on.
Right.
They determine if they're going to prove charges. Here's the thing: typically the on-call state's attorney is the low man on a totem pole, the guy who just got out of college. He's doing this and that stuff. We call it felony denial. Because if you're on call, that means it could be 2:00 in the morning on a Friday night. You want to be out with your friends, and you got to answer your pager when it goes off, or your cell phone,
or your pager.
You want to get out of that position. So how do you get out of that position? You show that you have a successful conviction rate, so you only take charges you think you can win in court. I can't tell you how many times people don't get this. Well, how come these gun charges don't stick? How come this? Because the courts want a successful conviction rate. So
Isn't
they
that
don't.
amazing?
Yep, they don't go after everybody.
It's
crap.
So it's about putting a W on the board.
It's about the money.
Well, that's not surprising. So this Kim Fox has recused herself from the case. Doesn't really explain why she did.
I think, and I didn't find it yet, that she made comments in the beginning like this is atrocious or whatever. I don't know. Or, excuse me, it could be, I'm doing Doc Thompson here.
I thought you were
channeling my Doc Thompson. That too. I think that it's just the Chicago black celebrity connection. You know, it's not every one of them. I'm not trying to group them all.
Oh, she would get
exactly.
Oh, yeah, if they because it looks, which means she thinks he's guilty.
Sure. You can't do
because,
it. So
yeah,
she's got to recuse herself from it, so the rest of the black community doesn't think she's attacking a black man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's racial in the worst ways up there. They victimize everyone.
You know what I think it might be? I think maybe he has a problem with gut health. I think maybe
how could he fix that, Uncle Brad?
The bad bacteria. I think that may be what the problem is. Did you know that inside your body there's 22,000 human genes?
I didn't know that, Uncle Brad.
I didn't know that either. But there are twice as many. It also is 2 trillion microbial genes that are technically not you. And I think possibly that Jussie Smollett has been taken over by the 2 trillion microbial genes that aren't him. And he probably has bloating too. He's probably experiencing bloating and intestinal discomfort. And I think all of those things combined may have made him actually submit a false police report. If he only had gone to lovemytummy.com and found out about Atrantil, I mean, if he had had daily digestives, you need to. I mean, if you're in the bathroom until the
I'm in the
until the light goes off,
quite a bit.
But
I eat a lot.
You are not leaving here without a bottle of Atrantil. If you're experiencing bloating, if you are experiencing abdominal discomfort, if you have the urge to file a false police report stating that you've been attacked by two guys in a dark alley somewhere,
truck stop bathroom,
it could be constipation.
It won't be after that,
right? Yeah, no. Remember, in prison, you just have to lay there and take it. Go to lovemytummy.com and find out if Atrantil can work for you. And basically, it's all about the health of your gut. And if you do that, you're going to be happy. Plus, a puppy somewhere in the world will thank you for it. It's lovemytummy.com. You know, I wanted to, and there's more Jussie Smollett to come, but first, I found an old clip of Doc, I think it's MAL as well, talking about the unions. And even back in 2003, and this is the supermarket union, I think the strikeout in California, not a big fan of unions, not even a little bit.
Union workers are on strike, seemed increasingly likely after talks on a new labor contract broke down. Union leaders said 70,000 members could be picketing outside of all local supermarkets as early as next Saturday. The 3 national chains are facing the strike, would be blaming union representatives right now. They said they broke off negotiations when the contracts expired last Sunday. Leaders of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union say they warned for 2 months that they would not extend the talks. The contract covers grocery workers in 7 locals from San Diego to the South Mono County in the north. So you may not be able to get groceries in California. Funny things about unions. Usually people are pretty rabid on either side of unions. They're either like, unions are a terrible thing, or unions saved my life. Not a whole lot of fence riding with unions. I'm one of the few people you will ever hear say I'm right down the middle with the whole union idea. On one hand, when unions were started, they were definitely needed. It was at a time when management could do anything they wanted, unsafe work environments, people were being taken advantage of. It was very close to slavery, and you had no choice because you had to make money to pay for food and shelter and everything else. So they did a wonderful thing. But then unions became the same thing that they were fighting. First of all, you know the corruption that goes on at the union level. It's just a game of power and politics like anywhere else. But what happens now, it's this standoff between management and unions. They both have the gun pointed at one another, so to speak. Always at the standoff. Saying that as soon as I get a little bit of power, as soon as I get the upper hand, I'm going to stick it to the other person. Because I know when they get the upper hand, they're going to stick it to me. But what I find funny is the union representatives who blindly back the unions. And if you try to have a discussion with them, they're crazy. Union, yeah, you're just a union basher. I don't understand that mentality, where you blindly follow an organization. Now, I know they do a lot of good things. They help negotiate some contracts and that, but I just think it's silly. It is also silly that you are forced to join a union at a lot of different shops. Supermarket unions are one of the silliest. Supermarket unions, at least the ones I've been around, have no power. They really have no power. All they say is, we're going to take some of your money for union dues, but don't worry, we've negotiated a higher contract. All that money's going to the dues. I worked at a supermarket growing up, and that's what happened. My wife worked at a supermarket growing up, same situation. They do nothing for you. Now, it's different if you're talking, the UAW or something. Those guys actually do negotiate some serious contracts for those people. But man, oh man, a supermarkets union and the radio union. Holy moly. The radio union, it's like the union that Homer Simpson belongs to, where it's like the power plant controllers union tied in with the pastry chef union. It's all one. The radio union is absolutely silly. Unless you're talking the major markets of New York, Chicago, and L.A., and some really high-profile personalities, it means nothing. They're not doing anything for you. I suppose you can get a certain amount of health benefits through them and stuff like that, but it is pretty silly.
Unions have never done squat for me. I was a member of, when I was bagging groceries, the grocer union or whatever it was, and then AFTRA. I was in AFTRA too, the American Federation of Television and Radio Announcers, Professional Broadcasters. They didn't do squat for me either. As a matter of fact, when I was at the station in LA, we had an AM station and an FM, and I was on the FM. And they renegotiated the contract for the AM and raised everybody's pay. And then the FM, they said, you're good.
Yep. I was our union president, and that did crap for us. I've said all for years that unions protect lazy people.
It's a great way for the Democrat Party to launder money.
Oh, my God. When I ran for sheriff in Cook County, run by Democrats, the union was the power force about who dictated who their officers voted for the Cook County Sheriff's Department. They didn't want to meet with anybody who didn't bring them money. They didn't want to talk to anybody. But it's a scam. It's a massive scam.
I feel like I've neglected the people over in the MeWe chat room.
I looked at it today. I did look at it, and you guys. It's very difficult to keep up with. I don't know how you do it.
It's at any given moment you can dive in there and you never know what you're going to get.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're talking about unicorns and
slut monkey Jill Hole. I say let the riots come. We're headed that way anyway. These people are destroying the country. Jamie is calling for the purge, according to Jeff A. in VA. Hell yeah, bring it.
Nicole Milano, unions effing suck today. Hubs was stuck in a union, no more. I talked about this not too long ago that Supreme Court ruled that, and I'm going to paraphrase this due to time here, but that you no longer have to enroll in a union if you don't want to. And that's based on private sector. It's from Janus. It was a case called Janus in Illinois.
So that's private sector. The fact that the government, there's a government workers union.
Hmm? Well, look at your cops, your law enforcement. That's government union.
Yeah, but I'm talking at the federal level.
Oh,
it's just stunning to me that there is a government workers union that just doesn't.
Our union was 23% funded, and we had to be taken to court. It was great.
There's so much. How do you unravel these problems?
You don't. You let them just wind up, and then you wait for the zombie apocalypse to come. And you stock up on
or
your arms.
Mars with better aim, or possibly Yellowstone, or maybe Bernie Sanders.
Let's do a live feed from Yellowstone and throw crap in the inactive volcano to ignite it up.
I got no problem with that. We'll hear from Bernie coming up on your Daily Mojo.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. All right, Oregon, you're first in line on the stupid train. If you do this, if you do what you're thinking about doing, I'm putting you at the head of the line to be the dumbest state in the country. What is Oregon considering? Well, check it out. Lawmakers in the beautiful state on the West Coast, right there between Washington and California, lawmakers have floated a bill that would let voters decide if they want to amend the Constitution in the state and lower the voting age from 18 years old to 16 years old. Think about that. 16-year-olds. People would be able to ride their bikes to the voting booth and pull a lever for the politician they think is the coolest. This is the dumbest idea I've heard out of a liberal state in a long time. Only it could be followed by, we're going to let 16-year-olds vote, then we're going to let people here illegally vote, and then we're going to let illegal 16-year-olds vote. Yeah, that's probably where this is going. But 16-year-olds voting in elections, it can't happen in time for the 2020 presidential election, but don't think Oregon isn't focused on that. This is definitely behind all of this kind of jockeying. 16-year-olds voting. They can't buy cigarettes, they can't have a drink, they can't serve in the military. But you want them to be able to vote? Oregon, are you trying to keep sane people away? Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
Mojo.
Here's a story of a man named Bernie.
This is what you do. What you do.
Kamala Harris and Cory Booker.
About the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
Here's a story of a girl named Warren.
My papa had high cheekbones, like all of the Indians do.
And then there's Kristen and maybe Bento. His name is Robert Francis. And no, one day all the socialists got together. And they knew it would be much more than a bunch.
That is a low blow.
All the Democrats, they got together. That's the way they all became the commie bunch. The commie bunch. The commie bunch. That's the way they became the commie bunch.
Who did that?
Opelka and his group.
Opelka and the guys.
That's the guy who's the testudo, my friends. Testudo. What does that mean?
It actually is. It's Latin for third testicle.
Testudo. I'm Michael Palka, and this is your 2-minute. Oh, okay.
He's very sensitive about the third testicle.
I appreciate that. I want to know what testudo means.
Not that
He's pretty sensitive about people making fun of the way he talks, too.
Well, back at him, because I seem to remember when he gave me some crap.
They call him Stunt Brain because
isn't he
he's
a stunt
brain? Yeah. Actually, Scott Shannon gave him that moniker. So Bernie Sanders is in the pool. He's jumped in with both feet. He's jumped in with his hair. He has jumped in completely. And he released I guess 19, 20 hours ago, he released his 2020 presidential campaign video listing some of the things he wants to accomplish, which is a little frightening here.
Real change never takes place from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up.
Bernie Sanders.
Remember, from the bottom up.
I'm not a very smart man. I'm actually a community college dropout, so I have no formal education. I willingly admit that if I went to run a company, I would be at less advantage of somebody who actually has some kind of training and who should be positioned at the top.
Right.
I make a great worker. But if you want to implement change from the bottom down, which is where I would be, I can guarantee I would probably run that company into the ground because I don't have the qualifications or know-how. Sanders is an idiot.
Well, there's that.
Healthcare for all idea is gaining steam.
Free tuition. Free college tuition. Free tuition champion, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Why not just make everything free? Why are we even bothering with money anymore? Moving on.
Bernie Sanders added, the greatest threat to national security is climate change.
The greatest
national security, because that's snow and rain, man. It's gonna the greenhouse effect. They don't even talk about the greenhouse effect too much anymore.
Future of our planet is at stake.
Sanders taking on Amazon.
No, he's just worried because he's a crusty old man who, if he went down to Florida, he'd have to wear the sunscreen with the 50 block because I can't be down here with my skin like this. That's what he cares about.
Consistent hammering about income inequality.
Nobody in America works 40 hours a week.
No, they're all lazy. They're all lazy.
And remember, in the Green New Deal, they're going to provide income for those unable or unwilling to work. So,
have you been to a fast food place yet?
We got your back.
Have you been to somebody who wants to get their $15 an hour?
Oh yeah,
they just What you want?
Yeah,
I would like a cheeseburger, please.
Fine. I went to McDonald's the other day, and they didn't say one word to me at the second window where they hand you the food. The arm came out, the bag was in the hand, the face wasn't even looking at me, and I took the bag and they shut the window.
Big in poverty. So our economy is rigged. We have a campaign finance system which is corrupt.
Sanders leading the charge to stop war against Yemen.
The first time ever the Senate has voted to end an unauthorized war.
The fight against injustice has been the work of his life.
Jobs and education, not jails and incarceration.
That rhymed.
Well, it's got to go
Jobs
he's going for the rappers.
and education, not jail and incarceration. I kind of like that. That's catchy.
You
can
can't
put that
change human behavior. I don't care how many
You can
socialist
try.
programs you put in. I don't care how much equality you spread across the board. Someone, and a majority of the people, not just someone, will be dissatisfied with the position that they're in life, and they will not conform to your utopian society. Some people don't want to go to school.
That's right.
Some
And
people want to go to jail.
There's no reason, unless you're going to be an accountant, unless you're going to be somebody who is a very highly brainiac skilled profession. College is not all that in a bag of chips.
We are not going to retreat on women's rights.
Sanders pushing a bold agenda that includes protecting DACA recipients and comprehensive immigration reform.
Is Congress here to protect the rights and the lives of Americans or of illegal immigrants?
Are you being funny, or are you actually asking for serious?
My blood pressure's going up.
You don't rip little children away from the arms of their mother.
You don't rip them out of the womb either, Bernie.
And you don't bring your kid to the border illegally if you don't want them ripped out of your arms, and they're not ripping them out of...
Major announcement from Amazon. Amazon will raise its minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Ha-ha, but not New York. Ha ha ha.
350,000 workers.
Thousands of workers at Disney World will get raises. It's a victory for Bernie Sanders.
It's a victory for all workers. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot of work in front of us.
Fierce vision leader.
If we are prepared to stand together, there is no end to what the great people of our nation can accomplish.
Yeah, they can end the nation.
I would agree with him there. If we all stand together, there is no limit to what we could all accomplish together.
Well, here's
He's
the deal,
absolutely
but
right.
What about the people who don't care and they just want to go about their daily business?
Right.
They want to do their lives. They want to work their 9 to 5. They want to come home. They want to sit and eat frozen pizza in front of the TV. I don't care about your cause. Keep America the way it is. Let me work, let me contribute, and let me enjoy what I earn.
God, you are such a simpleton.
Wait, isn't that kind
You
of
are
like a
such a
libertarian
simpleton.
platform of I just want to contribute to society in my
Man,
way?
Why do you hate this country so much? It's just, if we all just stuck together in a socialist sort of way, things would be so much easier. So much easier. The one good thing that Bernie does bring to the table is his mockability. He's a cartoon character. And there have been numerous comparisons between him and Larry David.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He was on Bloomberg Politics. This is what the host of Bloomberg Politics said to him.
George, the word around the office is that you're a communist. Communist? Now, ostensibly.
All right, so that's Larry David on Seinfeld as Costanza's boss. Now, they later go on to give Bernie Sanders the script so he can read the same line. And here's Bernie reading the same line as Larry Sanders.
George, the word around the office is that you're a communist.
Yeah, but if you shave off 10 years or 20 years ago when he was like that, he would have sounded dead on. He just got that aging like I'm Barbra Streisand. I can't sing.
Yeah, it's that vocal as
aging.
you get older. It gets so
George,
again.
The word around the office is that you're a communist.
All right, so that's Larry David.
Larry David even sounds older today.
Yeah, and then here's Bernie.
George, the word around the office is that you're a communist.
It's the same.
Very close.
Yeah.
Very, very close. I would also like to throw into the ring this voice.
What's this? He never says no to a party. Wait, I just had an absolutely perfect idea on how to catch that ant.
That is the aardvark from the Pink Panther. I think that... Well, that's really close.
What's this? He never says no to a party. Wait, I just had an absolutely perfect idea on how to catch that ant.
Yeah, it's that typical East Coast, you know, that the Jewish. I'm waiting for my feet hurt. Do you feet? It's cold in here.
Your
It's cold.
feet.
My
back.
children never call anymore.
And then here is the... I don't know if Jackie Mason did the voice of the aardvark, but...
No, Jackie Mason's a god in his own.
And this guy keeps spazieren, spaziert. Excuse me, mister, can I ask you a question? What are you taking a picture of here? What? You never saw an old Jew before?
I would vote for Jackie Mason.
So I'm not sure. Is it Larry? Have we seen all four of them in the same room
No,
before?
you haven't. Do you want
Larry David, Bernie Sanders, Jackie Mason, and the aardvark.
They're all old. Do you want to take a call, by the way?
We have a call?
Do you want to take
By the way, we've been, the
Phones are open.
phone is on the screen, so why not?
All right.
Let's just roll the dice and see what happens.
Indiana, 260 area code. You're on. What's going on, man? Or woman?
Oh, hey guys, good morning.
What's happening?
Hey, I want to rewind real quick. Let me turn you down so I don't get any feedback here.
Oh, thank you so
good
much.
idea.
Thank you. You just did our PSA.
I want to rewind real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thank you. To the Bernie Sanders free stuff, $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm a high school teacher, and I don't even make $15 an hour.
I would strike if I were you. It's
Well,
amazing.
I'm where I need. I feel I'm where I need to be, but compared to McDonald's wanting $15 an hour, it's kind of craziness.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I just turned 30.
All right, so you obviously have a decent work ethic. If you're working in high school, are you for whatever your income are you making? Are you losing faith in the generation that you're teaching right now?
A little bit. There's like zero work ethic, to be honest.
There was just a newspaper article. There's a newspaper article about a high school teacher who just lost her job because she was giving zeros for people who were not turning in homework, and the policy was that they were only to give nothing lower than a 50%. Are you seeing? And I don't mean to, I do mean to call you out to a degree, but we'll keep you anonymous. Are you
go for
seeing your school's policy at all cater and pander to lazy kids and just completely teach them that they don't have to work for anything?
Yeah. Last year, I would say yes. This year is different.
How so?
I think the mentality, and I'm gonna put myself, because I went through the No Child Left Behind, Common Core era as a student, and I'm still seeing that. I'm kind of seeing that kind of fade out. But I think it was just push the kids through, get the money, move on.
What grade do you teach?
9 through 12.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So in your classes, do you see support? I mean, do you guys talk politics? Is that do you discuss the candidates? Do you do any of that?
In my health class, I do.
And are you seeing support for Bernie Sanders among the younger crowd? Who are they supporting overall? Or do they even know?
They really don't know. They're more questioning. Like they're just coming into that mentality.
That actually gives me hope. I'm trying to think back when I was in high school if I gave a crap about politics, and I remember I didn't, and quite frankly, I knew that I didn't want anything to do with them because I went to Boise State, which I discovered was a bunch of wannabe politicians.
Oh.
And it just that's when I decided that politics was a giant cesspool. So they're questioning, but I mean, when you talk about or do you talk about the socialism aspect of it, and are they questioning? Can you tell which way they're going, which road they're going down?
I can, because the way that I tell them is I'll give them both sides of the coin. If I'm going to teach them, or if I'm going to try and show them, hey, this is the right way, I need to inform them this is what the other side's going to say to you, so that you know how to fight back against it later on.
Wow, so you're teaching them to think. That's good.
Well, I'm teaching them to think, but I'm also teaching them to do their own research, because I'm telling them not to take anything that I say without a grain of salt, too.
I have to ask, otherwise every jackhole out there would be upset with me. Do you have any hot female teacher coworkers that you are suspicious of maybe entering an inappropriate relationship with their students? And if so, how do you approach that?
I can't approach that in a Christian school.
Okay. Wait a minute. I will say this: when I was in high school, Paraclete was the Catholic school. You always got the better drug. You got the better drugs over at Paraclete. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I can't say yes or no to that.
Well, your identity is still protected. Thank you for at least thanks for the call, and thanks for giving us some hope. If kids these days are in fact, if they're at least in situations like that where they're being told do your own research, there's some hope. Because otherwise, I think if I was growing up now and people were talking about free stuff, look, you can get free this, you can go to college free, you can get free health, everything's free. Sounds great to me. I mean, after years of being in radio, if it's free, it's for me. But then as you grow older, you realize there's no such thing as a free lunch, as free health care. There's nothing that's free.
That's the generations before. Your generation, my generation was taught that if it's free, you should have both eyes open going, what's the catch?
Right. Yeah, there's no such thing as a free lunch. No. Somebody is paying for it somewhere, and the government getting involved. Who was it? Was it Bernie yesterday? He was talking about free or 2-week vacations. Mm-hmm. Just like, what the hell is the federal government getting involved in telling businesses about the amount of vacation time they should be giving employees? That's insane.
Whatchamacallit on Twitter says, my youngest son had an art teacher who pushed Bernie on the kids to tell them, tell your parents to vote for him so you can get free college. My son said free means someone else pays for it. She gave him an F.
Whoa, wait a minute. The teacher gave him an F for saying...
The teacher, yeah, because he told back the teacher, that free means someone else is paying for it. So she failed him.
That's amazing.
You know what? That should scare the living crap out of anybody who does have kids going to school, because that means that you have an outside influencer putting their biases on it. School is supposed to be here's how the country was founded. This is math. This is science. And then as you go later on in life, you start to put those things together and form your own opinions. And the brainwashing is real. It's real.
It's frightening. Speaking of schools, Covington High School.
Yeah.
Those kids that obviously got raked over the coals.
They were racist. They attacked Nathan Phillips. No,
sure they did.
no.
Was it Nick Sandman, his attorney? I guess attorneys are representing the entire Kentucky school. Oh no, it's just Sandman. Involved in the confrontation. They announced yesterday they are suing the Washington Post for $250 million in compensatory and punitive damages.
I hope that kid is able to buy his own media company after this. She was suing Alyssa Milano, too, where they're talking about it.
This lawsuit, filed in federal court in Kentucky, accused the Post of practicing a modern-day form of McCarthyism by targeting Nicholas Sandman and using its vast financial resources to enter the bully pulpit by publishing a series of false and defamatory print and online articles to smear a young boy who was, in its view, an acceptable casualty in their war against the president. Why have we not heard more about Phillips?
They're not going to, because once again, that destroys their narrative of here's the victim. Oh, crap, the victim lied. The press is so eager to destroy Trump that they're taking people's stories without vetting these people. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing.
It's evident in the Smollett case. It's evident in the Covington school case. And they don't seem to be learning their lesson. And then you had Kamala Harris yesterday, and when asked about tweeting about the Smollett case, and she's that
was a very long, uncomfortable pause.
Yeah, and it goes back to President Obama talking about the cops up in Cambridge.
Yes, the Cambridge Police Act. I'm telling you, that is the moment in history where you doing your research as an individual no longer mattered, and people could listen to the single most powerful voice in the nation. The United States president at that time happened to be Obama, and he says the Cambridge police acted stupidly without full knowledge of the situation that went on. He made it a racial issue, and he made it absolutely acceptable for you to no longer have to do research anymore. Oh, look, president says it must be true.
Investigators that were hired by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Covington concluded that the students did not instigate the confrontation with Phillips. Bishop Roger Foys, who's initially condemned the students' behavior, wrote in a letter to parents that they had, in fact, been, quote, placed in a situation that was at once bizarre and even threatening. Thank you. Wow, it's amazing what happens when you actually get all of the facts in a situation and then report on it. I don't know. Sounds like it could be a trend.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
The more I know people, the more I like dogs.
What kind of dogs?
The dogs of the candidates. It must be a slow news day.
There's something
CNN.
about a candidate having a dog that seems to scratch an itch, whether you're a long shot candidate, Pete Buttigieg, with 2 shelter dogs, or well-known Senator Elizabeth Warren,
who also enjoys beer, by the way.
She likes buffalo, hunting them specifically.
Buffalo, beer, and dogs.
Say hello, Bailey. Say hello. Yeah. More than happy to talk baby talk to her golden retriever. That's our Bailey, who she's been introducing along with her husband.
I thought I'd bring the 2 guys in my life, Bruce and Bailey.
Wonder if she ever gets them confused.
Wonder which one she's sleeping with.
Supporters can't keep their hands off.
How are you, sweetheart?
Candidate and spouse stroll off, holding hands and a leash. Some candidates put their dogs in commercials.
Which one's wearing the leash?
It's frightening how much you and I think alike. It scare the hell out of everybody.
That's why we approve this message. And even campaign merchandise. But there are perils to promoting pets. When Kirsten Gillibrand posted her Labradoodle, Maple, someone tweeted, "But if Maple isn't a rescue, I take issue." Someone else suggested a new caller, Trump, take a walk. Beto O'Rourke has 2 dogs, Artemis and Rosie. Among the dogless contenders, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, and Kamala Harris, though she tries to make up for it by posting canine supporters. Cory Booker got put on the spot by a kid.
Did you ever have a dog?
No dog, but Booker made a quick save.
If I should become president of the United States, would you help me get a dog?
Okay.
Would you help? Hey, little boy.
No,
don't. You ever seen the inside of a humane society? Come on over.
Would you help me?
President Trump says he doesn't have time for a dog.
How would I look walking a dog on the White House lawn? Would that be... Feels a little phony.
He prefers to call his opponents dogs.
Yeah, that's
While
right.
would-be opponent Joe Biden posed recently with a shelter dog, Major.
You know he did things of
adopted-
that. You know, creepy Uncle Joe is like, I want to take this dog home and adopt it first. Do you mind if I play with it a little bit? No, you can leave the room. You can Hi, dog.
Did he?
I'm Uncle Joe.
Creepily close to the dog's ear.
God, he was sniffing that dog's butt.
To keep his old German Shepherd Champ company.
He's a talker. Watch this. Hey, Champ, you want to play golf?
Even President Trump might like a dog that doubles as a golf partner.
Well, where's the golf club?
Jeannie Mo, CNN.
Just, it's a slow news day when they have to report on the dogs of the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Biden, a dog actually humanizes him somewhat.
No, I'm going to completely disagree. The dog makes him more creepy. Do you want to take another call?
Sure. We got one?
Yeah, we do. We got
Absolutely.
Got Ohio. 260, you're on the line.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Brad. Hi, Izzo.
Hi.
What's happening?
Yeah, and I didn't bring any M&Ms this time. Sorry.
Is this Roz?
Yep.
Hey, Roz.
Hey, living inner city, where benefits are king, it's very easy to talk them out of $15 an hour.
I'm sorry. You
And
said it's very
here's how
easy
you
to
do it.
talk them out of it?
Talk them out of $15
okay.
an hour.
Okay.
Here's why. Mom of 3, working fast food place, for our current minimum wage of $8.30 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
When she goes to $15, she's going to price herself almost totally out of food stamps.
Yeah.
Her rent at the HUD subsidized complex is going to go up. Under her PIP plan through HEAP, which you pay 10% of your income, that's going to go double almost.
Well, what they'll end up doing is they'll just raise the limits under which you are eligible for those things. That will be the next step after raising the minimum wage.
Hold up.
We're holding.
That's done on the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you do like Seattle did, or Chicago's talking about just upping it to 15, those federal guidelines stay the same.
Yes, but I'm saying that when you get the people, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of the world, then they'll be up there. They're fighting on two fronts, so they'll get those limits raised. It's just part of the overall plan, but it's scary as hell. You're right. I don't think they thought that through.
No, and if you put it down on paper, so they see that they are going to be no better off, if not worse off, at $15 an hour, they back right down. We just voted on it in Cleveland, and it got turned down.
I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit on the fact that they back down. Most of these people who are voting on this or want this or supporting this, they don't care about the long haul. They are easily brainwashed. They're lazy. They're entitled, and they are hearing we're going to give you more money for equal, if not less, work. They don't care about the long haul effects. All they're caring about is give me more They don't think anything about all of the programs going away, the food stamps going away, their government housing being thrown away. They just say, oh, you're going to give me more money. If you put that in front of them, they wouldn't take the time to read the long-term consequences.
Here's where you're right and wrong. Okay, no, they will not listen to a long explanation. If you have it written on a half piece of paper, and you can do it. Somebody, when I was working lobbying for a bill, you have to get their attention in less than a minute.
Yeah, that elevator pitch.
And rivet them in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
When you say, and I just gave it to you guys in a very quick synopsis. When you can do it that way and you can educate. Now, see, that's where we're wrong. We don't educate. We want to go into, we want to bloviate on the issue to where we lose all of their interest.
Yeah, but here's the problem: is you sound like a rational, intelligent human being, and you're talking to relatively rational, intelligent human beings. And there's even more rational, intelligent human beings who are listening on this platform. The problem is most of the people who are out there who only see the dollar amount, they're fueled by emotion and ignorance. And as much as you want to educate them, they're not going to listen.
Izzo, I have turned some of the big activists in Cleveland. I'm not talking suburbs.
Well, then pack your bags,
inner city Cleveland.
Pack your bags and move to Chicago.
Down.
Pack your bags and move to Chicago and do something there.
Roz,
I'm sorry, I can't, Izzo. My daughter went to college up
you're
there.
Smart.
And no, thank you.
Yeah, you're smart.
Roz, I love you. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. And Roz, by the way, was at the funeral and stuffing my pockets with M&Ms.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she's incredible. Roz is also responsible for getting us this the Knuckleheads in the News CD she found. I'll tell you the story this next hour, but I do want to bring up a very important point because as I was unpacking some of the stuff here on the table earlier today, I discovered that inside the Patriot Mobile mug were these little Lindor white chocolate truffles. These are like kryptonite to me. Normally,
you go through the whole bag. Really.
Oh, I used
the
to be able
dark
to
chocolate ones are amazing.
The white chocolate are like crap.
Yeah, they melt very fast.
Oh, but thanks to Riduzone, I have not opened this.
Good.
And I won't open this.
Good.
That is the beauty of Riduzone. It can help you make you feel full. It can help starve out those food cravings. It can also help with a slow metabolism, kind of speed things up in there, all thanks to a molecule called OEA. I'm going to let you do your own research. Go to riduzone.com if you're ready to lose some weight, some ugly fat. riduzone.com. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. If the United States deploys new intermediate-range missiles in Europe, Russia will target the U.S. with its high-tech weaponry. That warning today from Russian President Putin delivering his State of the Nation address. President Trump says North Korea's economic future is bright if it gives up its nuclear weapons.
Their location between Russia, China, and South Korea is unbelievable. I think that North Korea and Chairman Kim have some very positive things in mind, and we'll soon find out.
The president saying he is optimistic going into next week's second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President Trump reveals his choice for a top spot at the Justice Department.
Deputy Transportation Secretary Jeffrey Rosen has been nominated by President Donald Trump to take over the number 2 spot at the Department of Justice. If confirmed as Deputy Attorney General, Rosen would succeed Rod Rosenstein, who's expected to leave his post in mid-March. Rosen served in President George W. Bush's administration as General Counsel and Senior Policy Advisor at the White House Office of Management and Budget from 2006 to 2009. Rosen spent nearly 30 years at the same Washington law firm as new Attorney General William Barr. Mike Gracia, Washington.
Some of the biggest cities in the East in for plenty of snow and ice. Another winter storm bearing down on the region. Snow is falling in the mid-Atlantic as that storm makes its way north. New York City Emergency Management Commissioner Joe Esposito urging people not to grow complacent in the calm before the storm.
It's going to be dry. you have a full sense of security. It's going to look like a nice day, but around noon it's going to get some snow.
He spoke with WABC TV. It's a big storm affecting hundreds of millions of people in just about every state east of the Mississippi. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 23 points. S&P futures off 2 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. As another election approaches, many citizens now take the process so much for granted that they're apathetic about voting. After all, since America has held elections continuously since 1619, why should this election be viewed with any particular interest? They argue that since America has survived even wars and calamities, what difference does one election or even one vote make? Perhaps they should listen to the words of the great Daniel Webster, who declared, "I apprehend no danger to our country from a foreign foe, for there is no nation on earth powerful enough to accomplish our overthrow. Our destruction, should it come at all, will be from the inattention of our people to the concerns of their government, from their carelessness and neglect. Therefore, in the upcoming elections, don't take your freedoms for granted. Make sure that you vote."
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. And if you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world. jdrf.org.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Nat and Ron. This morning at 11. MoJo 50. Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals. MoJo 50. The mothership has landed.
You know, we just talked to Roz on the telephone, and she was she works in the real estate market somehow. She was inspecting a vacant house and found, and then she brought this to me at the funeral, found a Knuckleheads in the News CD from Magic, WMJI up in Cleveland, which, if you look on the back of it, was produced by one Doc Thompson. She brought it to the
guy had his fingers and everything.
I'm telling you, and the weird again, the weirdness surrounding the weird world of Doc Thompson. He continues to reach out. He might even have something to do with this. This is Anderson Cooper talking last night to former FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Just listen.
The fact is, I, like all the men and women in the FBI, people across government and the military, I did my job. I stood up to the obligations of my office. When we're presented with facts, we made hard decisions, decisions that we knew would be tough on the organization, would be tough on us personally. Look what I've gone through as a result of those decisions. But we did them anyway because we were committed to our responsibilities and serving this country.
Do you still believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation, and I'm really anxious to see where Director Mueller concludes that.
What in the...
No. Somewhere in America, here's the problem. And yes, I think that back in my youth, I was guilty of this too. Somewhere in America, it's going to get turned into a meme, just a snippet of something. And you're going to hear, well, the former FBI director thinks that Trump is a Russian asset. And that's all people are going to hear. And you're going to get water cooler talk. Trump is a Russian asset. People are stupid. They're stupid and brain dead.
Except, of course, for this audience who
yeah,
happens to be
they're
probably
not people. They're
the
jackholes.
most brilliant.
They're not people. They're jackholes.
Why? It flies in the face. What in the hell would he be doing? Well, okay, let's suppose he is a Russian asset. What's By now,
What are you
don't
gonna
you
do?
think he's had enough time
What are you
to
gonna do?
maybe get the nuclear codes over to Putin? I mean, they should have wiped us off the face of the planet by now.
Please do. I mean, instantaneous. You'll be eradicated and evaporated, or you'll be, a post-apocalyptic swamp thing walking around with 6 eyeballs and a micro penis.
Ooh, if it got you the eyeball in the back of the head, though,
it's not wrong.
How cool would that? Or the arm in the middle of your forehead. Tell me that would not.
That would be the best.
That would be so cool.
You could officially lean forward while typing and just take food and feed yourself.
You could hold your coffee cup with a hand that comes down right above your eyeballs, and you'd have 2 hands free.
But depending on how long it was, you still couldn't.
Right. It would be.
Couldn't do it.
If you did
Couldn't do
your
it.
yoga every
Couldn't do
day,
it.
that might have possibilities.
Couldn't do it.
Maybe we just move this whole thing along and
go.
go into headlines. When I say headlines, we just.
Is that a cue? Is that a post?
Weird thing.
Behind the
Strange.
Scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Well, and I do apologize. I mean, we do shift the time of headlines every day, so you never know when I'm going to do it. So, Jack Holes, your headlines brought to you by APR Coffee. We'll have our coffee break coming up.
Made me poop this morning.
Remember, one of these headlines today isn't real. Your job. Figure out which one. In Berlin, a German court has ruled that a dog owner isn't fit to carry a firearms license after his dog shot him with a rifle.
9.
Not just once. The Munich Administrative Court on Tuesday dismissed the man's appeal against an earlier decision by Bavarian authorities, great chocolate, to withdraw his license to own a rifle as well as his hunting permit. That decision followed a 2016 incident in which the man, a hunter, was shot in the arm after his dog managed to release the trigger on a loaded rifle that was lying in his car. Man, when your dog hates you, this one, let it be known.
Should have brought peanut butter with him.
The man, whose name wasn't released because he would be mercilessly mocked throughout the rest of the country, is still going to appeal that verdict. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, police there are searching for a man who crashed his car into the glass doors of an adult novelty shop, then ran inside and stole lingerie and sex toys. Police say the heist at Hustler Hollywood happened at about 3 a.m. on Monday when the store was closed. It was captured on video. Employees discovered the damage later Monday when they came to work.
Was he wearing any?
Police officer Jeannie Pierce tells Tulsa TV that authorities believe the man knew the store's layout because he ran directly to one section to steal the items, which were valued at about $300 to $400.
I bet you they were plus size because he had to go home to his pig wife. You know,
the best thing about a Hustler Hollywood store, have you ever seen the sign in the back of them?
No.
Big giant letters on the back wall. Relax, it's just sex.
You've been there.
I've driven by.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
You know what $300, $400 will get you? Not much. Not much. No arrests have been made, so if you do see a man running around in lingerie, give the cops a call. In Thailand, a man preparing to leave for work had to call for help when he discovered a huge python attached to the bottom of his truck. Man said he was getting ready to leave his Chambéry home. Chambéry sounds like it should be in France, not Thailand. His Chambéry home when he noticed the big snake's tail.
Thailand has a lot of ladyboys.
They're fascinating, aren't they?
No, they.
Come on, admit it. Come on, have you ever looked at a ladyboy?
No, I gotta recant here. I have to admit that there are times when a part of my subconscious says, okay.
Hey, Ron, guy behind the glass. Ever looked at a ladyboy?
No. You see how quick
That was
I was
nice.
with that?
That was very quick. But you had time. You had time to prepare. The fact that you were thinking about answering quickly tells me again that you had thought of that. By the way, you can't win.
I can't win.
No, you can't. A snake handler was summoned to the man's home, carefully removed the snake from the wheeled chassis. The handler measured the snake at about 12 feet long. Much longer. Let's just move on. In New Mexico, a man has been arrested and accused of kidnapping a local neighborhood dog, several dogs actually, making wigs and various accessories with their fur. Los Padres authorities became increasingly alarmed after dozens of pets disappeared in the area in the past year. A local citizen also alerted the police department there after discovering that Jeremiah Bishop, he's a 79-year-old guy, was operating a website where he was selling wigs and fur handbags and custom underwear. Bishop already had attracted the attention in the area for his eccentric hairstyles, wearing different wigs every day. That is bizarre. Sex robots are going to end up crushing vital parts of men's bodies, this according to experts. They could end up crushing men's delicate bits and pieces, naughty bits, during frenzied lovemaking sessions.
It's not wrong.
That is the warning from legal experts.
How do you frenzy? How do you frenzy? How do you? I mean, you are talking.
I think there's some serious thrashing going on.
Frenzy goes with feverishly, so you have to feverishly. I'm picturing some poor guy, like just absolutely, because man, if you don't have lube, the degree burns you are going to achieve on your member is insane. And then what if you over time you wear away at the parts and then the metallic sections that kind of like make the vice grip thing going on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're asking for trouble.
Well, we went to Siegfried and Roy once years and years ago, and the mechanical dragon on stage bit Roy.
Okay.
So mechanics will break down. So if you're dealing with a sex doll, this is absolutely possible. The risk of suffering a flattened phallus no longer is not only the danger to awaiting people who seek to insert their most. Boy, whoever wrote this, I'm going to fire that producer, would you? Without tough regulations to govern the production of sex robots, the computerized concubines could be made of materials which end up poisoning humans.
Oh, I didn't think about that. What if you do get like you shave and you got a little nick and cut down there? If you're worried about getting an STD from a partner, now you got to worry about the plastic parts contaminating into your bloodstream.
Existing sex products are not well regulated.
I got to cancel my order.
Is cause for concern. Remember when you get a sex doll in the mail and it came in just a little tiny little box?
No, because in that day and age, I was growing up, living with my parents, and I wasn't about to have it stolen by my father.
Have you seen the YouTube videos of unboxing sex dolls?
No.
Oh,
gonna have to now. You said box.
Oh, we're going to have to watch one of those. Moving right along, Russia is set to disconnect the entire country from the internet. The country is looking at powering down its entire internet infrastructure as a kind of doomsday test. Could it survive without said web? The calls to increase pressure on our country being made in the West oblige us to think about additional ways to protect Russian sovereignty in cyberspace. According to Leonid Levin, the chairman of a Russian committee on information technology, he said it last month, Russians' disconnection from the World Wide Web is one possible scenario amid the escalation of international tensions. Last year, Russia brought in the Digital Economy National Program, which aims to protect the country's online infrastructure, even if other countries were able to cut it off. That this the interweb, not body parts. But so
I'm still thinking about the robots.
This is the Switzerland version. All the bridges into Switzerland are mine. So this is the Russian version of the Switzerland. All right, so there are your headlines. So we have Russian and the internet. We have sex robots crushing people. We have the guy stealing dogs, making wigs. The 12-foot snake on the truck. The sex store burglary, and the dog shooting the man. One of those is not real. Your job is to decide which one before you do. Of course, we'll take our APR coffee break, American Pride Roasters. If you are not drinking American Pride Roasters,
you're not cleaned out.
No, you're not. Coffee drinkers tend to live longer.
Really?
Yeah. Research has been linking moderate consumption about
better
3
stop
to
drinking coffee then. I
4
don't want to be any longer than I need to be.
When it hurts to pee and you start to stink, it's time to go. About 3 or 4 cups a day, they say, will give you a longer lifespan plus a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. Doc should have been drinking more coffee. You could also reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's, according to Harvard Health Publishing. Not necessarily the views expressed by the hosts or MoJo50.com. But if you go to American Pride Roasters, you will find incredible blends of coffee that I guarantee you'll find nowhere else. You'll find Skip Lacomb's Smooth Cold Brew, red and white edition. You'll find Doc Thompson's, is it gone? Is the Indus Uranus is gone? Oh my! Well, you'll still find the sexual chocolate. I do believe you'll find the salty
Morning,
caramel
Matt.
coffee, and you'll find one of Matt. What's your coffee at APR? What's the name of your coffee?
P-Hat Matt.
Hat Matt. I wonder if there's...
You know, we kept the door open so that you know what it's like when we're on the outside with you with the door closed.
Right.
I just can't believe what's going on in the world today. I'm Matt Locke. It's that bad, dude.
I think
it's amazing. It's amazing.
His doctor says it's too much caffeine. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com to find out which coffee blend suits you and your lifestyle the best. Now back to the headlines. Which of those headlines do you think is fake?
It's between the two dogs. It's between the two
That's
dogs.
what I said.
Yeah.
Between the two dogs. Who the hell makes a wig out of a dog?
No, but see, I could picture somebody being crazy enough to do that, and on the other side of it, I could picture somebody trying to petition to get their dog a hunting license because then they can carry two guns while hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the fence on that.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm a dog wigs.
All right.
I got to take the other one then. I'll go with the
Dog shooting man?
Yeah, the shooting man.
Guess who's right? It is the guy behind the glass. The dog wigs is the fake story.
Yep. Finally. Because if Izzo had won again today,
Well, I was going to go with that
had
one,
something
so,
going on.
It could have been fixed.
It could have been fixed.
Could have been fixed.
Just like the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Those, by the way, are your headlines. It is Wednesday, February 20th. There's only 621 days until election 2020. Rihanna is 30 today. Kurt Cobain would have been 51, but he lost his head.
Ate a gun.
Yeah. Although I still think Courtney Love was behind all that.
She's sick.
There is a documentary called Kurt and Courtney, or Courtney and Kurt. Have
The
you seen
modern
that?
day Sid and Nancy. No, I never got into that. That was when I was in high school. That time, that grunge time, I never got into it.
There's a few Nirvana songs I like, but they were apparently not getting along too well, and they were, according to some reports, headed for divorce. If they had gotten divorced,
oh no, yes, I had seen it. Then she would have lost everything.
So by dying.
Wait a
prior to
minute.
the
Are you
divorce-
suggesting that a married woman would ever do anything to prevent her from losing what the man in the relationship had gained for both of them? I can't believe that you're planting that seed.
I'm not suggesting it. I'm outright saying it.
Hashtag why Izzo will never get married.
Cindy Crawford is 52 today.
Oh, I still would.
Yes,
oh my
in a heartbeat.
God.
And Ivana Trump is 69.
I would too. I would too.
Why not? It was on this date back in 1725. The American colonists practiced scalping, and I don't mean NFL tickets. A posse of New Hampshire volunteers. New Hampshire. They came across a band of encamped Native Americans. They took 10 scalps in the first significant appropriation of this Native. Wow. Are you serious? They are calling it cultural appropriation of Native American practice by European colonists. The posse received a bounty of 100 pounds per scalp from the colonial authorities in Boston. Wow.
We need to return to stuff like that.
You know what? If you did that at high noon in the courthouse steps, you would knock back crime in a big way. It was on this day in 1792 that George Washington did something questionable. He signed the Postal Service Act. Okay. It's never been quite the same. And I didn't know this. Before the American Revolution, if you basically wanted to send a letter, you had to hire private couriers. You had friends, maybe. You had merchants who you could pay to take a piece of correspondence back and forth. The individual colonies set up an informal post office in like the taverns and the shops. Then the British government established the position of Postmaster General to coordinate everything. And it was still, at that time, still conducted mostly by the private sector. Then in 1737, a guy by the name of Benjamin Franklin took over as Postmaster General. And he oversaw the whole post office from England until he was dismissed for subversive acts on behalf of the rebellious colony.
I heard he was a pervert.
Oh, yes.
I heard he was a huge pervert.
Ben Franklin would have been great.
God, he would have been fantastic in here.
Oh, I would. If there's one historical figure I'd like to meet, that's him. He would have been a lot of fun. So he apparently had some recommendations. The Continental Congress created the constitutional post, I guess, in 1775. Then during the Revolutionary War, Washington was depending on the Postal Service to get messages between the Army and Congress. And Article 9 of the Articles of Confederation, written in 1781, authorized Congress to establish and regulate post offices from one state to another. This, of course, the beginning of the end. And then in 1792, Washington created the U.S. Postal Service with the signing of the Postal Service Act.
And had I played it smart after high school, I would have applied with the U.S. Post Office, and I would be in a position to drive around in a car all day long for 30 or 40 years, collect a government paycheck, and retire a happy man. Those guys are geniuses.
Here's the thing: if you go to the Postal Service's website, they have postal facts. For instance, you can click on mule mail delivery, and it'll give you a little fact. The most unusual method used by
my mule again?
Post Office is a mule train in Arizona. The mules carry mail, food, and supplies down the 8-mile trail to the Havasupai Indians at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Then there's one that says, 0 tax dollars. 0 tax dollars used. The Postal Service receives no tax dollars for operating expenses and relies on the sale of postage, products, and services to fund its operations.
Okay.
Except for the fact that's, you know what, probably if you parse the words, the Postal Services receives no tax dollars for operating expenses.
Okay.
What about the retirement accounts? What about the tax breaks? What about the fact that the Postal Service does not have to pay to register any of their vehicles?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They don't have any license plates. That's right.
No,
that's
right. Let's see. What else does the post office not have to do? As a matter of fact, it's
screen people for mental health because they shoot. Remember going postal? That's where that came from. Yeah.
Apparently, the goodies and the kickbacks they get are worth about $18 billion a year.
The bottom line is we both made a mistake. We should go more for post office.
Robert Shapiro, the former Treasury Undersecretary and Chairman of the Economic Consultancy Sonicon. Sounds like a lot of fun at parties. American taxpayers subsidize the USPS at a rate that surpasses the costs associated with any congressional mandate. All told, he says it's about $1,800 in subsidies. So, yeah, technically they don't receive any tax dollars. I mean, for operating expenses.
You know who could explain that to us very well is AOC. She would explain it very well.
You know what we should do is take that $18 billion.
And just give it to the post office.
No, they could fix the subways in New York. If we took the $18 billion that we're giving the post office and gave it to New York, problem is solved.
Should give it to MoJo 50.
We just blow it on hookers and blow.
We got a call.
Another call. This is a big morning. The phone number is on the screen, by the way. It's 20 Bum Orion if you want to call.
Yeah, 202-866-7466. Yeah, Arizona. What do you got going on?
Let me tell you what, guys. All this talk of
wait. I know this sexy voice. I know this sexy
buddy,
voice.
Let me tell you.
Is this Whiskey 6?
Come on.
What's going on?
Maybe.
You guys are sounding great, by the way. On Sunday nights, it's at 8 o'clock, at 9 o'clock Eastern. Is that right?
8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday evenings. Yes, sir.
It's 8 p.m. Eastern. Damn it, I always get those confused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just thought I'd call in and give you guys a report. You know, all this coffee and along with the double dose of Riduzone, I'm pretty regular too. So I didn't want to leave anybody out. Thought I'd better call in and give a report.
It's not bad. That's
Stay
how it
on
goes.
top of things.
Are you taking Riduzone?
I am. Actually, I've lost 12 pounds.
Holy cow. Why am I all right, I got to get on that bandwagon. I got to jump that train.
Well,
All
right, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. I started on it like a week after Matt did. I was waiting for my new shipment of it, and I really hit it hard. And it was a little slow. Started out, 2-4 pounds within the first, couple weeks, and then it went kind of fast, and then I got into a lull again with it, but it's a slow process, but it's working.
But that's
Absolutely.
good, though. You don't want to lose a bunch of weight real fast because it's easy to gain it right back. You
it ain't
want
gonna
to be
work.
slow.
Right.
Slow
yeah,
and easy.
You don't want to shock your body.
No, you don't.
Because I think it'll resist.
So things are going well with the show on Sunday nights.
Yeah, we're having a blast, man. It's you're getting to know all the Jackhole Nation. Of course, over in the MeWe chat room. It is the Wild West over there. Like Doc
I'm
always
looking
says.
at it now. I've been looking at it for the last 5 minutes. You guys are insane.
You can't keep up with it. It's like last night I was in there lurking around, and I felt like my eyes were a slot machine, just scrolling around and around and around, trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah,
it's a great place to catch up and meet people and join into the family of the Jackholes.
You should wear gloves, though. If you've never been into the MeWe chat room, you should definitely wear like latex gloves.
Makes it feel like someone else
highly
is doing
contaminated.
it for you.
Yes. I think there's bodily fluids everywhere. You know, you might need a little biohazard suit sometimes. It gets pretty gnarly in there. I will say that.
Well, and then there's the other chat room just outside your comfort zone. Is that what it's called?
Oh my God! Then there's that.
I'm not a part of that. I'm not a part of that.
You haven't been invited to
No,
that one?
I have not been invited yet.
You need to send Izzo an invitation to that
Oh,
one.
let me tell you, Izzy. Come on, Izzo.
It's-
Look, you can bring your new order of sex dolls over there to the.
No, those are all mine.
I'm sure
Those are
you'll be
all
happy.
mine. I'm not sharing those
Well,
things.
no, so I got a question about your sex. You said you had to cancel your order of the sex doll. Did you get the small version for you, or what?
Because it makes it look bigger.
Makes you look bigger. Okay. I didn't know if you got the midget version.
No, that's
Ask him for a friend.
no. That's I can't do that. I can't.
Why not?
Okay,
No?
What do you get?
I have to have the Amazon woman version.
So you-
set
so
that
you
thing
like
up
them
and
big,
climb it
don't
like a
you?
tree.
You
Oh
like-
my God!
You like a
kidding me?
taller woman, do you?
That could take a punch. Just take a punch and choke that.
You'll
thing.
never find
I
me
gotta
in a
work
wig,
for my
Izzo, I can
supper.
tell you that.
I can't. No, see, for me, it's I want a woman who's smaller. Just kind of like a little.
No,
Well, sit you on my lap. I'm
No,
pet
you got
to the
you got to
left.
make the big
Clean
ones
you.
tap out.
Mhm.
Make the big ones tap out and earn it. Oh yeah.
Man, I don't know. I dated a girl who was almost my height one time. You know, she's like 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, honestly, it's a little intimidating.
It's weird, isn't it?
Looking someone in
No,
the
then she
eye.
puts those
Yeah,
heels
I don't
on.
know how
It's
short guys
weird.
do
Puts
it.
those heels on. Then she's 6'5".
It's just weird. I don't want.
Oh no, then she's no, can't handle it. No.
Nah.
You are
I'm
officially
okay with the
climbing
shorty.
a redwood in Washington at that point. It's amazing. It is
That's what she
amazing.
said.
You've seen the movie Rampage that was based off of that the video game from the 80s, Rampage. You climb up the building and you just pound that building and break it down. That's what it's like.
Yes,
Climb
the
that
video
building.
game.
That's
Yeah.
It's more like Donkey Kong
That's what you're looking for, huh?
or Pac-Man. One of
So is that going to be your go-to, Izzo?
You never know. I don't give out my trade secrets.
You're not discriminating either, are you?
No,
You'll take them
I
all,
can't give
short
away
and tall,
everything.
right?
Uh-huh. Got anything else for us? As we're up against a break here, but
No, hit it,
remember
guys.
it's 8 o'clock Eastern. No, 8 o'clock Central. What the hell time is your show?
8 p.m. Eastern,
I knew that.
Sunday evenings, off track with Whiskey Six, Rusty Lugnuts, Melissa, and Peachy.
Right here, MoJo 50.
Dating.
It's February and there's been another sighting. This time it's not a groundhog. It's a Weiner sighting. Anthony Weiner, to be exact. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Anthony Weiner, former Democratic New York congressman and former husband of Hillary Clinton's senior political aide, Uma Abedin, was spotted being transferred from a federal detention center in Massachusetts to a residential re-entry center in New York. The disgraced Weiner was given a 21-month sentence in 2017 when he pleaded guilty to sending obscene Weiner pics and lewd messages to a 15-year-old girl in North Carolina. Weiner must now register as a sex offender as he completes his term at a halfway house. Like other inmates at the halfway house, Weiner will be able to leave the facility only for approved activities such as employment and health care services. Weiner, who was an up-and-comer in the Democratic Party, partially due in part perhaps to his wife's connection with Hillary Clinton, told the judge before his sentencing that, quote, he was a very sick man and that the crime I committed was my rock bottom. He admitted further that he had a disease, but that it wasn't an excuse. You may recall that Weiner tried to make a comeback in 2013, running for mayor of New York, but when it was revealed that he had sexted with another woman under the pseudonym, quote, Carlos Danger, his political aspirations were over. He will be required to spend 3 years on supervised release and will have to pay a $10,000 fine as well as register as a sex offender. Weiner's official release date is May 14. If you're interested, Weiner's rise and fall to grace is chronicled in the documentary aptly titled Weiner. And that's today's reality check with Susan Knowles.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com. And the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Excuse me while I whip this out here. Zip. I had to take my adaptogens from the richsolution.com. It helps balance you.
and relieve stress. Not that there's been any stress lately in my life. I mean, I think it's been pretty smooth sailing. It's
You've had the easiest last couple of weeks on the planet. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Sunshine and lollipops. And
geez, you act like someone died or something.
Right. Crazy. Life goes faster than a bullet train. So at the when we were up at the funeral, Adam and Gwen Rich of the Rich Solution sat me down, and they were like, okay, you got to take care of yourself. You got to lead a healthier life. You got to do this. You got to do that. And they lined me up with 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 of the life extension supplements that you can find at therichsolution.com.
You may as well get used to that, because in about 15 years, you're going to have that box that's got the M through S on there, and you're going to have your pills set up all day long. So you may get used to taking all those pills every day.
You know, as long as they're fun, I'm good with it. And this is, and each one of these, and if I need to tweet a picture of this out if you're watching on the on Facebook,
the
or on
social
YouTube.
medias.
If you're seeing it, you can see exactly what they got here, and I'm going to get Gwen to join us, I think, tomorrow. To explain exactly what all of these are going to do, because who doesn't want to lead? I mean, as long as you're going to be here on the planet, you might as well feel good, right?
Unless if you're talking about can you have full mobility, full function?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. I agree with that, which is why I want to take care of my health a little bit better.
Right.
Because I don't want to be 70 and 80
exactly
in a nursing home and have some liberal who now Googles me, right?
Right. Yes.
Oh, look what your position was 20 years ago. I'm going to let you sit in your own diaper full of crap.
Not that there's anything wrong with sitting in a diaper full of crap.
There's where I'm going.
But
there's where I'm going. So I want to be wealthy enough to where I'm so rich in my late 80s, mid 80s, I hire a 18-year-old hot Playboy playmate who her sole job is to bathe me nonstop all day long.
Sit you on her lap
all day long.
Love you and bathe you.
That is my life goal. I want to be that wealthy. She doesn't care about my politics. She cares that the check's clear every week. Throw her a bonus every now and then. Yep. And she will take care of it.
When the ship finally arrives here at MoJo 50, hopefully it's not a train. Yeah, that will be the majority of us. You do have to take it, unless you're leading the exemplary life and eating perfectly. You are going to need a few supplements here or there to keep things on the right track, so to speak. Go to therichsolution.com and find out everything from better sex after 50.
What's the point?
To enhance sleep.
What's the point?
You don't want to have better sex?
With myself.
Huh. When was the last time you had sex? With a partner? Therichsolution.com.
Oh.
I have evidence that AI will not anytime soon take over the planet.
Skynet's not going to do it, huh?
Not yet. And I'm going to, can you guys take my screen full here? Because this, and everybody knows the internet is all about cat videos and cat memes. However.
And apparently sarcastic comments on the tweeter, Daguerre Bear says, real Brad Staggs and real Ron Phillips. Someone needs to tell Rance of Izzo to smile. Fro brows don't go too good with the Backstreet Boys haircuts.
Yeah, there's a lot to do over there. Look at the cat smiling.
Oh, my God.
Those are the result of artificial intelligence trying to recreate cats' faces.
Wait a minute. No, I don't understand. So those are photo, or those are actual cats?
No, that's what artificial intelligence has recreated. Cat. They can take a human face. They can create a human face from scratch, from just bits and pieces of information. But that is what they created when they tried to put bits and pieces of cats together. They didn't quite get it. It is bizarre. I mean, we have
those look like cats who came out. Those look like cats with well, you can't call them like retarded anymore, because that's the R word is too bad. But those look like cats who have special needs.
They are. Look at the one with his mouth open down there.
That cat has half a face.
This one over here has no legs. That one, those are
cats with extra chromosomes.
Are the weirdest looking cats. And these again.
Could you imagine that thing climbing on your chest in the middle of the night, waking you up going,
no.
Those cats need to live in Key West. Isn't that where the six-toed cats are?
Yeah, but even the six-toed cats don't look this freaky.
That's exactly right. They don't.
My God.
These things, so these were created by artificial intelligence. It was a neural network that this is a type of AI modeled after the workings of the human brain. They say it can reproduce realistic original photos of human faces but the ones that they try to make of cats, for some reason, they can't get the algorithm right. And even though they could make a perfect human face, when they try to make a cat, it comes out looking like something from a nuclear.
We're safe. AI
nuclear
is not
war
going to do
zone.
anything. Or you know what? Unless that's going to be the new norm, and you fast forward 20 years from now, and that is what a cat looks like.
That's
and
possible.
then people sit there and say, "Oh God, cats were deformed before."
Speaking of nuclear reactors, did you see the story about the kid in Memphis?
No, I didn't. What was that story?
14-year-old kid. His name is Jackson Oswalt. He, I don't think this kid goes out on a lot of dates.
Oh, he's like me.
I don't think that he plays a lot of video games.
Like me.
He ended up building a nuclear reactor and achieved fission at the age of 13 in his
Not
parents'
like me.
basement.
Nope, not like me at all.
He built a steel machine made of vacuums and pumps and chambers. It's capable of smashing atoms.
Wait. Say that again. He what?
He built a steel machine made of vacuums and pumps and chambers.
No, you're so full of shit. You know damn well that kid was trying to do some other things with that, and it just happened to be efficiently.
Look what I stumbled upon.
He's down there. His mother walks down the stairs and sees him pantless, and he's got the cat, like the deer in headlights thing, like looking like this.
What are you doing, Johnny? I'm making a nuclear reactor, Mom.
He just happened to do that. Oh my God.
This kid, he began working on the reactor when he was 12.
Began pumping it when he was 12.
He says he concluded that he didn't want to dedicate his leisure time solely to playing games like Fortnite.
Oh my God.
So he searched the internet. He found nuclear related things, because that's what he says held his interests.
No, when you're that age, you are looking at everything. And I mean everything. You're sizing up this going, the opening's just about the right size. That kid was going to getting PVC piping from Home Depot. He was looking at other things and going, how can I pleasure myself with this? Oh, I just happened to create science perfection.
I told you never to bother me when I'm vacuuming my room.
Mm-hmm.
He built the, he said it, how much did it cost? Oh, between $8,000 and $10,000 over the course of a year. They say he converted an old playroom in his Memphis home into a functioning lab. His parents spent the money, of course. That was the easy part. He said putting the fusion reactor together and testing it to see if it worked was the real challenge, since there isn't a manual on how to build something like that. Trial and error. Trial and error is not something I don't think you want to do with a nuclear reactor.
Again, I'm telling you that I'm calling horse crap on this story because the kid was trying to create. It's like the bomb clock kid, Obama's bomb clock kid. But the problem is this kid actually succeeded.
Do we have the Bravo Sierra anywhere in there? The Bravo Sierra, because this is boom.
Bravo Sierra.
Bravo Sierra.
Bravo Sierra.
So,
I don't know. I want a younger guy's opinion on that. Isaac, how old are you? You're 22? So you're not that far back from those years.
Poor Isaac is a mute.
Yeah, I know.
He hasn't been able to talk since he was 7.
What's going on through your head when you hear this kind of stuff? You're getting dirty, aren't you, back there?
I don't know. When I was around that age, I was pretty much trying to stay up so I could watch Cinemax or HBO.
Oh, did you get the scrambled screens? Didn't you remember that?
I was just flipping through channels, and then it just happened to come across that, and I was like, "Oh,
and
wow,
you're just
that looks interesting."
Discovering my body with Isaac.
By the way, Isaac is training to be the new guy behind the glass back in there, so that Ron can spend more time in the bathroom. Apparently, I don't know.
Making fusion reactors.
Yeah, I think so. So you don't think, Isaac, you could have put together a nuclear reactor when you were 14?
Probably not. I guess I didn't have a vacuum around.
Such a low bar. Jackson's father, Chris Oswald, said he had no real understanding of what his son was working on.
He was down there trying to hump it. He's down in the basement going, "Well, son, you made us. I don't ever have to listen to your mother again."
Yeah, to make sure that Jackson was safe, he had experts speak to him about the dangers involved with working on a potentially deadly fusion reactor, like being exposed to high levels of radiation or being electrocuted by the 50,000 volts of electricity that he used to warm the fusion reactor's plasma core. I mean, who hasn't built a plasma core?
But which is worse? Is the wattage or the voltage is the one that's going to kill you? I know the amperage is.
It's the voltage. Let's see. Well, okay, one is the amount, the other is the speed, and the other is the pressure.
Things I learned with Brad.
And I can never get the one straight. I just don't touch it with your tongue is all I remember.
Again, you have a conductor. You have to
It's a
loop that conductor, and you're going to wind up getting a little bit of a taser action there.
The 120 volts, that'll bite you. And
maybe that's what he wanted.
If you've got something like your dryer that runs on 240, that will
240, 244, whatever it takes.
And then at the other place, there were some lights in the hallway that I sometimes had to work on at the other studio, and those were 480 volts.
That'll kill you.
Yeah, I think I rewired one of the switches without turning it off.
Yeah, I know that'll kill you. Electricity, I won't go near.
I cannot recommend. Yeah, I've always told people in home improvement, work on your own plumbing, because the worst that happens is you got a flood.
Oh, here we go. Eric Vincent on the MeWe chat room says voltage is pressure, amperage is flow, wattage is the total power moved.
That's what I just said.
Okay, I'm just verifying. I don't know. I think the bottom line is
which one hurts.
I think all of it. The bottom line is that the story proves that 13-year-old horny young boys will invent anything.
I don't think this kid is going to get much action out of the
field. Are you kidding me? That kid's probably going to invent all he needs. Dude, think about it. Think his catch line. If you think that this is his only achievement in life, you're out of your mind. This kid is going to be 21 years old, a nerd. Or no, back up. 17 and a nerd. And he is going to be getting more ass than anything by going, yeah, I'm the guy who created the fuelless car. I'm the wingless jet. I'm the guy who created internet thinking, to where you think and it comes up on the internet. Yeah. That guy's going to get more ass than Tiger Woods.
He might end up growing up to, and by the way, this next story is in honor of Techru. He might end up growing up to be into those furry parties.
Oh, those people are weird.
A woman who has revealed that she dresses as a cartoon animal for fun has received death threats from people who think that her furry hobby is really a sexual fetish.
They've been around for years. They've been around for decades, furries.
Rebecca Christensen dresses as a furry animal that she calls Munchie.
Okay.
The digital project manager from Rochester, New York, joined the furry fandom after accidentally going to a convention in 2014. For whatever reason, people are sending her death threats. She's a pretty woman, too. I mean, she's hot. She goes so far as to say, I got too many wires.
Oh, yes. No, I see. That's kind of sexy.
Stuff falling down everywhere.
I would.
They think her quirky hobbies are so wait a minute, it's not a sexual thing?
No. I thought it was originally first. I used to work at a bar back in the 90s, and a couple of people would come in, and I'm like, these guys are kinky and pervert. And no, they were vanilla women who would come in dressed up. It was completely innocent. I think that was the gateway into cosplay. So almost they weren't. But I think now everything is takes a sexual turn, like it should. And it just became that a little bit.
I guess I don't understand what the goal is.
The goal, this is my theory on everything that is abnormal, is we are all deep-seated, warped, fetished nut jobs out there who cannot come to terms with the stuff that we're into. Yeah, so you gotta have a gateway. You have to have your excuse. Hey, I'm into X, Y, and Z. And the bridge to get there for someone else to accept it is, I'm a furry. Oh, you're a furry? Well, I'm into robot sex dolls.
I just texted you the link so you could see the rest of her.
Oh.
And we'll send it out. She says she had, good grief, she's got 12,000 Instagram followers.
She's going to have 12,001 in a minute.
She dresses up as this. What the hell?
You sure that's not a dude?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I don't. You know what, though?
That's
a look right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in that picture, I can see why you'd think that.
No. I'm not saying that's a dude. I'm saying that's something I would, if she says, come here, I'd go, I'm coming there.
Let me tweet that out here because that's.
I don't know. I would.
I just tweeted that one out. It's a subculture interested in animal characters with human personalities and characteristics.
Oh,
So
come on.
anthropomorphism.
Look at this photo. She's got her back arched. She's offering you something, and she's got the typical head turned, and she's fully costumed.
Right. Furry animal characters typically have human intelligence and facial expressions. They speak, they walk on two legs, they wear clothes. Rebecca created her furry alter ego, Munchie.
Yes, I will.
Who is an angel dragon. She loves to spread positive thoughts after accidentally signing up for a furry convention in 2014. How do you accidentally sign up for a furry convention?
I guess I'll find out this week.
She'd been making special costumes using faux fur since she was a kid. She signed up for Arizona FurCon, thinking it would be an opportunity to sell her costumes. Well, then she didn't accidentally sign up. She signed up because she was trying to sell something to people who wore these. We had no idea it was a furry convention until we got there. And, okay, it's called Arizona FurCon, please. We got there. We loved every minute of it. I made my first fursuit heads right after that convention. She was immediately impressed by the community's fun, welcoming, and inclusive atmosphere and knew she had to be a part of it.
Every freak needs to feel accepted, and then, by virtue of that, you accept people.
We're all totally the Jackhole Nation.
Freaks.
Absolutely. Myself included. We've all got our little weird things. And
I've got 20,000 of them.
But I don't understand. I mean, so you get together and you just stand around in your costume and look at each other?
Have you been to a cosplay thing ever?
No.
So
no.
I live in the Chicagoland area, and there's a big town. It was a small town, excuse me. It's called Rosemont, but it's huge with the businesses and has a giant convention center. Rosemont has cosplay events constantly where thousands and thousands of people go. And if you have a cosplay event night, people dress up in their favorite comic book characters, favorite animated characters.
Right.
The line to get into this extremely large convention center is easily 1.5 miles to 2 miles long. No joke.
Really?
I am not joking. It is. You drive and you're driving and these people will be lined up by the thousands to get in this building. And they're people who have fun.
No kidding.
So I don't think their thing is sexual, but I'm going to tell you, some of the women there who are dressed up in character, the things that I would do to them.
So why are they wearing the costume? I mean,
why wouldn't you? If you have like Kung Lee, who's that character from one of the Street Fighter games. So Street Fighter's been around since the 90s. This Asian woman. You see a woman dressed up as Kung Lee or whatever her name is. Chun-Li, thank you. Oh, look at you, you age guy, you.
Wow.
Thank you, Isaac behind the glass. Do you not think she's hot?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever see cosplay people?
Yeah, I've seen lots of girls.
What do you dress up as?
I don't dress up at all. I just go over there and just get autographed from the famous people.
I don't dress up.
He's lying.
Don't let him lie.
He's lying. He's lying.
I don't dress up.
Fine,
I just go
I
there
dress
and
up as a princess, like Princess Peach from Mario Brothers.
So there you go. So you'd have people like Princess Jasmine from the Disney films. These girls are friggin' hot.
And when they wear like silk and satin,
there's a bunch of Princess Leia's from like the Jabba the Hutt barge in the bikini. See
okay.
now, so picture that.
I can get behind that.
A 19-year-old girl who is dressed up as Princess Leia, and the problem is they're young girls. So there could be 17-year-old girls like, oh please, I got to stay out of here. I have to stay out of here because I'm not going to jail. They're just hot.
You can see how they're dressed.
Oh,
right,
we got. Well, yeah, look at that.
I'll
All right, we got a call.
Oh, do we? Okay.
We got a call.
Right. Yeah.
Eric, we got Colorado. You're on the line. What's going on? Oh, hang on. Let's do this again. Colorado, you there? What's up? Hello?
Obviously, they've been smoking. We'll try to get back to them.
Colorado, if you call up, call back.
For those of you who are Friday Leftovers fans, little treat for you. This goes back to the late 90s. This is from the Knuckleheads in the News CD at Magic 1057. This is Lanigan and Malone and the rest of the gang, produced by one Doc Thompson, and I think that you will find that this is the origin of said Friday Leftovers.
Basic rules for robbing a safe. Take the money, leave the safe, especially if you plan to tow the safe behind a Chevy Chevette. 3 Lorain County men tried it. They wound up in jail. No safe, no money, and 1 bruised hand. Slammed on by a safe drawer at a convenience store. In fact, the caper cost one man $1.60. This is one you tell the grandkids about, said the Lorain County Sheriff Detective Joe Palmer. The incident started about 11:30 p.m. Wednesday and ended with the arrest of 3 Lorain men about 2:30 a.m. The 3 men are on charges of breaking, entering, and theft, arraigned Thursday on charges of plus robbery. Said the men stole beer at a Dairy Mart in Eaton Township, then went to Sutton's Ohio Tire Center in Elyria, where they broke in and took several packs of cigarettes and 1 safe containing about $1,800.
Okay.
The safe, 3 feet by 2 feet, weighed about 1,000 pounds, about half as much as their 11-year-old Chevette. Undaunted, the suspects tied the safe to the Chevette's bumper with nylon rope from a furniture dolly stolen months earlier. Then, Palmer said, they towed the safe a while, but it broke free and landed in the middle of North Ridge Road.
Oh, boy.
3 people in another car stopped to see what had happened. Palmer said the suspects offered a deal. Help us, and we'll split the loot.
All right.
Now, these are just somebody going by that see this and stop, and they say it's ours, and if you'll help us, we'll split the money. The motorist said, you're right, called police. 3 suspects left the unopened safe, then in the road. They took the dolly and drove to a Dairy Mart in Sheffield Township, where things went from bad to worse. Rivera asked for a pack of cigarettes and handed the clerk a $5 bill, according to Palmer. When the clerk opened the cash drawer, Rivera allegedly stuck his hand in. Grabbing the money, the clerk slammed the drawer on his hand. Palmer said Rivera then managed to get $4 or $3.40 out of the drawer. But the clerk still had his $5, meaning he was now $1.60 short. This is the first robbery I've ever seen with a negative cash flow, Palmer said. The men then ran for it and drove to Elyria, where the police finally spotted them. Palmer said that in his 24 years in the sheriff's department, this was the strangest incident he'd ever seen.
The predecessor, the inspiration for the Friday leftovers, Dumb Criminals from Magic up in Cleveland with Lanigan and Malone, produced by Doc Thompson. And if you listen closely, you can always hear Doc laughing in the background. A bully at school reportedly was left too terrified to enter the lunchroom after being beaten by the father of his 12-year-old victim. This according to a police report. The unnamed boy, who was 12 years old, he was reportedly trembling with fear after being struck by James Peace, a 37-year-old guy, while walking home from school in Deer Park, Texas, on Valentine's Day. Peace is said to have gotten out of his car on seeing the boy and a friend before launching into a furious tirade at the youngster about his alleged torment of his little girl.
Okay.
The boy is, excuse me, the boy is said to have told Peace's 12-year-old stepdaughter that she was a transvestite, told her body was ugly, and hurled ice cream at her.
Wait, but see, stepdad should have known. This is where these fathers are getting a little bit too out of hand. He was just trying to tell her that he likes her.
Yeah.
That's the proverbial pulling your pigtails in the playground.
Yeah. See, we used to dip him in the inkwell when I was... That probably has a different
You have the
connotation.
desks back with a hole cut in it where they had the ink in there. Yeah.
Is that what went in that hole?
Yeah, that's what's supposed to.
I'll be damned.
You get no friction. That's
the kid said he was stunned by Peace's tirade, which is said to have culminated in the stepdad reaching back and striking the boy in the face, according to an eyewitness. The same witness said that the alleged slap left the boy totally dumbstruck. I'll bet it did. I mean, who expects that? And that after that, he just stood there in shock and never retaliated. He was left with minor injuries. According to the police report, Peace finished the confrontation by warning the kid that if he tells anyone else what happened, he'll beat him up too.
Kids can't keep their mouths shut today.
No, they
really
can't.
can't.
They really, the little bastard just...
That's going back to that whole thing about that the high school guy who called in earlier today.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea how many stupid high school boys are ruining things for everyone else? Here you have these gorgeous teachers.
Yes.
I mean, I don't care. If you are so stupid to be 15 years old that you were having the greatest thing in the world ever happen to you. And ladies, if you're listening to, don't give me that. Oh, well, she's raping that child. No, you're not. You don't get it. You don't get it. Shut your mouth. Take the gifts you were been given and move on.
As a former 15-year-old boy myself.
Oh, God.
You remember being 15?
Yes, and I swear to God, had that happened to me at 15, it would have saved me 20-something years of questioning why I was such a loser.
Spent a lot of time making a nuclear reactor in your basement.
Yeah.
Was there a teacher?
There's a PVC involved, but that was about it.
You have to sand down the edges. I'm just going to suggest an orbital sander. And
I would have tried that too.
A friend told me about an orbital sander once. It's possible. Was there a teacher at the high school? Or?
No. Yeah. Well, my first grade teacher was but that's 6 years old.
Grade?
That's not 6 years old. No. Yes, there was. When I was in high school, we had a math teacher. Blonde math teacher. I can't remember her name.
Bob.
Yeah. No. We had a couple drunks. A couple drunks who were really bad. But no, we had a math teacher, and she was friggin' hot.
And were there any rumors?
No. Back then, no, because you know what? We knew how to keep our mouths shut back then.
That can be a problem in some instances.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. When I was in junior high, there was one of the teachers that there was the rumor that if you played your cards right, you could end up getting an A in the class.
Mm-hmm.
This is in junior high. I don't know that it's true. She's probably dead now. God, thinking back. Then there's such a double standard when the guy, for whatever, and it's creepier when the guy is the teacher and the girl is the student than the opposite. For whatever reason, that double standard exists.
So you wait until she graduates high school, and 18 is legal.
But even then, I mean, because you got that Falau kid and Mary Kay Letourneau. They've been married for what? 40
but they're both.
Now.
Yeah, but they're both. But if you Google teachers who have sex with students, there are some extremely attractive women.
Oh yeah,
extremely attractive.
Which is, I was going to say it's odd, but I guess it's not really odd because you got guys who were 15, 16, probably a little bit eagerer.
Sure.
More eager, ready. Then
able.
Able. Right.
I have a heart attack at my age now if I last longer than 5 minutes.
It's like, what do you do with the other 3.5 minutes?
No, nothing.
But it's very strange world in which we live. Which means
unfair. It's unfair.
It is unfair. PatriotMobile.com/Doc, the proud sponsor of this portion of your Daily Mojo. They just haven't been able to get through to the line to cancel yet.
Mm-hmm.
Go to PatriotMobile.com/Doc. That is where you will find the solution, if you will, the solution to a lot of life's problems these days. If you have one of the big guys as your cellular carrier, the problem is a portion of your bill every month. Some of that money goes up, ends up funding things like Planned Parenthood and a bunch of other progressive causes. But that is not the case with Patriot Mobile, and yet they're still using the same equipment, the same towers as you might be using right now. If you go to PatriotMobile.com/Doc, you can research that. You can find out if the service. Here's the thing: there's two things you want from a cell phone. You want the coverage to be good, and you don't want it to be expensive. You want it to work, and you don't want to spend a lot of money. I mean, it's pretty simple.
That sounds like the hookers I like.
There you go. So PatriotMobile.com/Doc. Portion of the money you pay each month will actually go to fund conservative and libertarian causes. PatriotMobile.com/Doc. If you don't get an account today, you're part of the problem. Is that enough guilt? Oh. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Delivering a stern warning to the U.S., Russian President Putin. In his State of the Nation address, Putin says that if the U.S. deploys new missiles in Europe, Moscow will retaliate by fielding new weapons of its own that will take just as little time to reach their intended targets. President Trump says he's not setting a deadline for North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons program.
The president is sounding optimistic that his upcoming summit in Vietnam with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un will lead to progress toward denuclearization.
I think next week's going to be very exciting. It's going to be the second summit. I think a lot can come from it. At least I hope so.
However, the president says he's not in any rush for North Korea to give up its nukes because U.S. relations with Pyongyang are good going into next week's summit. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Trump administration wants California to repay billions of federal dollars awarded for a bullet train project that Governor Gavin Newsom says he plans to scale back. Newsom calls the repayment demand political retribution, vowing to fight to keep the money. More than 1,500 flights delayed or canceled because of winter weather that's gripping large parts of the country.
There are winter storm warnings that are still up from Kansas, northeastward through eastern Nebraska, Iowa, eastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, and most of the upper peninsula of Michigan, with surrounding winter weather advisories in neighboring states.
National Weather Service meteorologist David Roth says now the mid-Atlantic is getting hit with snow and ice, and the Northeast will soon be. Day 2 of a statewide teacher strike in West Virginia. Educators upset about a proposed education reform bill. It's apparently been shelved by state lawmakers. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 11 points. S&P futures up a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org, m25m.org.
The Adrian Slade Show. I'm Tim Aflosta down here at the southern border, and it's pretty tranquil. There's no wall, but there's these steel slats. They're a bit porous, which allows for some nice breathing room, keeping the border comfortable and free of any funk and odors. Letting the border relax and alleviating any creeping up, riding up, bunching, or chafing. We don't see any drug mules or any cartel members, and
I'll be right with you in just 1 second.
All right, thanks. Adrian, our extensive coverage of this docile border has left us pretty famished. I think we need to take a second and...
Sorry, what's your weight? What was your order?
Yeah, can I get a BK broiler and a 10-piece chicken nugget?
What kind of sauce?
Southwestern barbecue sauce, if you have it.
What kind of sauce is it?
I said Southwestern barbecue sauce. Stop needling me. I mean, we're down here at the friggin' southern border, for God's sake. Did you just crawl across the border and put on a paper crown? I mean, I'm trying to make the president look bad. You know, libel and slander, and you decide. That's what I was hired for.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
The Rants of Izzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywag, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals, MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
It's Brad Staggs over here, and Dominick Izzo over there. You can.
Where?
He's the one without the hat. That's the easiest way to tell us apart. It's going to cost $1,000 to fix the statue in Florida. The statue that is in commemoration of the picture in Times Square of the sailor kissing the nurse back at the end of World War II.
Mm-hmm. I may have met that man, just to let you know.
Well, he's dead.
I know. I may have met him back in 2004.
Nice guy.
Long and short story, he was an old guy, incoherent up on the road. And he was a war vet, and I had to have him transported to the hospital and this and that. And I called his information out over the radio. And afterwards, some of the dispatchers that have been out there for about 40, 50 years said, he is allegedly the guy who was in that picture.
Really?
Yeah. But there was like 3 men to claim that. So
yeah. There's some
doesn't
confusion.
matter. I met a World War II hero. So
there you go. That's all that really matters. Yeah. George Mendonza.
Mm-hmm.
He was 95 when he died on Sunday. Somebody in Florida, in Sarasota, Florida. There's apparently a statue down there kind of commemorating the thing. Has spray painted #MeToo.
Yeah, whatever.
Pound Me Too on the leg of a statue depicting the sailor and the dental assistant kissing at the end of World War II. It's going to cost $1,000 to fix that statue.
Nothing an ass beating wouldn't fix.
Great world in which we live.
Yeah.
How much did you say Bernie Sanders has raised in the 24 hours?
He has raised over $4 million by 150,000 individual donators a matter of hours after announcing his 2020 bid.
Damn, we're in trouble. I'm telling you, this is we're split right down the middle pretty much in this country, and it's
let him have it. Let him have it. Let him run. Let him make an embarrassment of himself. It's all a giant distraction from whatever you want, and these morons who are actually paying him. Have fun. Have fun. Do it.
Somebody turned the lights off on last one out the door. Say we had a call.
We do.
From Colorado. That they.
Let's see. Colorado, you're on the air. What's going on?
Does it work now?
It does work now.
Listen to you.
Who's this? Excellent. This is Techru.
Techru, how are you? You're not in Colorado. I know where you are.
No, that's where the cell phone came from. I can actually see Colorado from my position here in the pickup truck. I'm about 3 miles north of the border. But it's been one of those now what sort of mornings, and there I am on the radio.
Missed you at the funeral.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to go to that. It was a real struggle to figure out my schedule. I had just figured it out a week before, and but like I said, I think the last Friday in. I don't know if I said it to you, but I said it to that other guy that comes on the other show afterwards, and Chef Patrick. The last Friday in March, I think I'm going to be in the neighborhood there, and I'm going to be packing beer with me.
Then you're invited. Then you are absolutely invited to come by the studio. Yeah, absolutely.
It's my home brew.
Oh,
so,
nice!
My gosh, that's fantastic.
Going to have some hickory smoked pineapple ale, which is a new creation of mine, meant to trigger the people that are not fans of pineapple on pizza and other goods. But
you are
a very legit beer.
I love pineapple on pizza.
I don't know why.
Doc hated it.
It's because he's smart or was smart. Whatever.
He's on vacation.
Yeah.
Doc will be back later. Much.
Yeah, there
was
a. Right. There was a. I think you guys were talking about fursuits or something like that.
Yes.
Somehow my name came up.
Do you have any information on that?
One of the best rundowns occurred after the Midwest Fur Fest 2014 chlorine gas attack, which Izzo might have heard of, being from the Rosemont area.
I actually didn't hear about that.
You didn't? Well,
no.
There was apparently it turned out to be a union thing, and the furry convention just happened to be there at the time. But Doc and Skip contacted me. You can find it on SoundCloud. A Furry Felony was my first interview on the Morning Blaze, and it's probably one of the best interviews ever to occur on the program, if I do say so myself. There isn't anything that isn't a fetish to somebody, and and Rule 34, of course, certainly exists in the there's porn of everything certainly exists in the furry.
So the internet was created for. The internet was invented for porn.
Absolutely.
If you can think of it, there's porn for it. Yeah.
That's why after getting smaller and smaller and smaller, cell phones started getting bigger and bigger and bigger when people realized, hey, you can watch porn on these things too. But those you see in public are typically not, those types just, the people that treat it more of a fetish, they tend to stay out of sight. And Midwest Fur Fest, the last 2 years, the largest furry convention in the world is there in Rosemont, Illinois.
Yep.
And raised over 10,000 attendees this past year. I was there. It was crowded as all get out.
That was the spring or wasn't that fall of this last year?
Yeah, fall. I think
I knew it was
usually
cold.
around November.
I saw that line and I could not believe how long it was.
So what do you do? So do you stand around and talk? What do you do inside once you get in? For those
you can go to YouTube and you can look up the furry convention. It'll show you. People walk around. And,
Well, Techru, so if you've been inside, what describe for a newbie what you see? What happens?
Well, for the first time ever, I actually have a fursuit of my own. For a long time, I didn't. But you had to borrow a fursuit. No, I actually purchased one. It's a partial. You'll see it. See it. Okay. But you just walk around. People take pictures of you and stuff. You show off the goods, and then you go back to your room and you drink a lot. And then
am I not right about some of the women there being unbelievably attractive?
They are. There are some that aren't, but there are some. But there are a lot that are.
Beggars can't be choosers. You think I care?
Absolutely. Oh, it is just a huge party, and it is a very diverse, probably one of the most diverse groups, which leads to in certain circles a bad case of Trump derangement syndrome. So there's a lot of like infighting going on because the group is so diverse.
So
but,
it's not a good idea to discuss Why the hell would you want to be discussing politics wearing a furry suit anyway?
It makes it very interesting.
There are more than a few attention whores in the group that are calling extra attention to themselves by we have these Nazi wannabes and communist wannabes that have been fighting, and it's like, guys, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just trying to get attention. They're just what do they call those
mini Izzos?
Yeah, there you go. That works. I was thinking about never mind. It's the words escaped me, and I'm not gonna. And not until I hang up is this word gonna come to me.
Hey, real quick, some of your jackholes are asking me to ask you what's in your pouch today.
I do not have a pouch. Male kangaroos do not have pouches. I know there are some that claim to, but I do not have a pouch. I mean, the hashtag is a lie. It's fake news. It's CNN. Call Jim Acosta. I don't have a pouch.
All right, Tecker. Thanks for calling, and hope to see you down here in. Make sure you bring the beer, of course. I hope to see you down here in March at some point. Thanks, buddy. They don't have a pouch. Male kangaroos.
I don't know. I don't have a pouch.
You've never hung out with a male kangaroo?
Nope.
They can kick the crap out
Dude,
of you.
I've seen some of them that are just jacked. They've got that internet one where the kangaroo's got the dog in a headlock.
Oh, yes.
And the guy walks up and just clocks the kangaroo. And the kangaroo's just like, boom, okay, we going now.
But he stands there and looks at him for a second.
Yep.
It's bizarre.
I couldn't imagine being in a state or a country where an animal that large. If I see a horse, I'm in awe. Because it's that you walk up to something that is upright or run up to something that's upright that has your dog in a headlock, and your first instinct is to knock it out. That's amazing.
You ever seen a moose in person?
From a zoo's point of view, yes, and it's intimidating.
I've seen one.
They're huge.
Out on the street. I think I was in North Dakota somewhere, and I pulled over, and there was a moose standing in the street. They are huge.
My first time driving here a couple of years ago, I would see bulls on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Drive through Yellowstone, you see bison
for now
walking along the road, and some people, they'll get out and they'll get within 5 feet of the damn thing and try to be taking its picture. It's like, you realize that's not animatronic, right? That's a real bison, and it will take you out if you get too close.
70,000 years later, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up.
It's strange.
Let's hope for it.
So there's a comic book store owner. He wants to. He doesn't want the comic book store anymore. So he's giving it away, and all you have to do to get it is to write an essay. It's an essay. It's Carmelo Camara. That's the guy's name. He says he's got a business called Camara Comics. It's in Oak Lawn, up in Illinois. Yeah, he's
That's where Oak Park is where Hillary's from. Sorry.
This is Oak Lawn. He's going to turn over all of the inventory to whomever writes him the most compelling essay and submits a $25 application.
This is today's day and age. Kids can't write essays, so I could write that essay and win. Compelling essay on what, though?
The subject is what makes a great comic book store. It should be no more than 500 words. Winners will be selected on a merit basis by the answer to the question, what makes a great comic book store? It's not a raffle. It's not a drawing. He owns 2 other comic book stores in addition to practicing law, and he creates his own graphic novels.
He's not married.
No.
He is not married,
No,
and
not.
he is a happy man. Think about that. I'm a lawyer, so I make $300 an hour. I own comic book stores, and I write comic book stores. That guy is going to outlive all of us.
I have a friend who makes his living selling fonts, selling comic book fonts. Excuse me. Apologize. Graphic novel fonts.
He creates them and sells them?
He creates them and sells them. This is a beautiful country.
How do people, I can't comprehend that. What do? I create letters. and I send them to people. I sell them, and people buy them.
Yep. That's exactly what he. That's exactly
awesome.
what he does. It is a brilliant way to make a living.
I have to find out a way to capitalize on the concept of like the Truman Show, and just set up my phone and have people pay to watch me sleep. Because someone out there's doing it.
Oh yeah, and making good money at it.
Swedish hookers.
On the heels of several other shows getting axed over at Netflix, they've now announced that they are canceling Jessica Jones and The Punisher.
Comic books, yeah.
Daredevil is out. Iron Fist was canceled. Luke Cage canceled.
All comic books.
But do you know why?
Now, I bet you anything it's because that they're being bought up by whoever owns the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they're going to be turning them into movies.
It's Disney.
Okay, so Disney's buying them?
Disney is going to have their own service, their own streaming service. It's going to be called, and that's Marvel's parent company, Disney. It's called the Disney Plus streaming service.
Did you ever think Disney would go that route?
No one ever saw them going the Star Wars route either.
When I was a kid, Disney obviously was synonymous with wholesome, X, Y, and Z. But then Disney produced the Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And that was one of the darkest movies I ever remember as a kid.
Freaking of my thumb.
Mr. Dark. And I could not, I'm like, oh my God, Disney produced this?
I know.
So yeah, that was unheard of.
Years ago, The Black Hole.
Yes. Oh my God, that was a great movie.
Yeah. So
that was a great movie.
They've been trying. I think they kind of tried to keep them separated.
We're talking about the same Black Hole, right? The
Yeah,
Disney
I think
movie,
so.
not the other one.
Not the one that you
get
find
behind
in
the
Times
counter.
Square.
Yeah,
Right. No, completely different. But so yeah, they're going to be apparently streaming these shows. Because I was upset when I heard that The Punisher. Actually, I was upset when I heard that Daredevil got canceled because that's a great show. But they will it'll be a matter of time, and then they will be over on the Disney Plus streaming service. We'll get to watch them over there.
How soon till Disney is in porn?
Well, if you looked at the cover of which one is the Little Mermaid?
Little Mermaid, and the disgruntled employee. I have that. I have it on VHS.
And see, was that the cover?
The cover.
And then the other one was when the two characters getting married. Remember, and the little king is sitting there.
Oh, it was a little guy. He has a little boner.
Yeah.
There's a Bugs Bunny cartoon where he steps out of the shower and you see his little ding dong.
Bugs Bunny?
Bugs Bunny. I'll have to find that for you. Bugs Bunny, yep. He's the Wabbit Who Came to Supper, I think is the title of it. And he steps out of the shower and Elmer Fudd is getting ready to shoot him and he drops the towel for a minute and you're like, oh, he saw his little rabbit.
It's just fun.
Yeah, there are some brilliant guys who have gone disgruntled and have just left things you cannot see. Like what was it, The Rescuers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the woman with the naked breast in the window?
Mm-hmm. It's priceless. Have you watched The Punisher?
No, I have not. I like that guy when he was with The Walking Dead, though.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
He's a great actor, and he is. If you've ever seen him in an interview, he sounds nothing like either one of those characters.
Is he British?
No,
okay.
he's American.
The other guy who played in Walking Dead, Rick Grimes,
Andrew Lincoln. Yeah. A lot of those characters on The Walking Dead are English. Bernthal, because of it's a pretty physical show. I mean, I think
it's violent. I've saw clips. It is violent.
It's very violent, but you understand why it's violent because he is. I mean, his family was killed.
When that comic book character came out, I think it was 60s. When I became aware, like in the 90s, I was really big into comic books in the 80s. And he was a violent man. It was a violent, graphic comic book.
He says the main thing about his workouts, he says the main thing, busting your ass and being disciplined. It's always the key with training. With this, it's a big part of your life. The look is a big part of it. For this character, it's more about being able to hang when it comes to doing the fight and combat scenes. The physicality needs to look and feel lived in. We do so many different things. We mix it up with different techniques and work with different martial artists of military people. He has to find the balance. He eats well. Of course, he does all of his exercises. And then that brings me to a new study that finds that men who can do 40 push-ups have a lower risk of heart disease. Can you?
I'll do them right now.
All right. Jump down there.
No, I'm not going to do them right now.
I might. All right, I'm going to try.
I'll do them with you on top of me.
Here. I'm going to try.
40?
You just not.
All right.
If I can do 40, you just describe.
All right, here we go. Brad Staggs about to ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Izzo, his
7,
ass ain't going all the way
8,
to the ground.
9, shut up, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Here's the deal, and I'll explain.
Those didn't even count.
I'll explain why those did count. I'll explain. Now, here's the deal. When you get your arms at a 90 degrees angle, you activate your chest at its fullest. Anything further back seriously causes damage to the rotator cuff.
Oh, I don't disagree.
So I'm
but
saying
Brad
right
did
there.
like 3-inch
I'm
push-ups.
saying I'm okay with those. I'm okay with those.
Ron, get your ass in here and let's see you do 10.
Oh, I can do 10.
20.
Oh, no, I'm not doing 20.
That's not bad.
I'm out.
That's not bad.
Now you're going to be breathing hard for the rest of the damn show.
While you catch your breath, we got to
Thank
call
you.
her. We got to call her while you catch your breath. We'll let them take it. Texas, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello? Texas? Caller?
Izzo.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? Scott from the Sheepdogs.
What's going on?
Not a brother. I just wanted to welcome you to Texas, man.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, hey, guys. First of all, my condolences for the loss of Doc, man. I've been listening for a long time. And
Yeah, we're still
when
looking
I
for
found
him.
out
He's
Izzo
dead?
was on-
We lost him. We're still looking for him.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He's on vacation. He'll be back at a later date.
Yeah. Exactly. Kind of like the new numbers on procrastination. We'll get to him.
Yeah. When you heading back to Chicago, brother?
Hopefully never, but we got to see who I got to bribe for that.
Although I think you drugged the Chicago weather down here with you.
I mean, who's running the station now, Ron?
Yeah, he's the man behind the glass.
I think it's
he's
Isaac.
The one that you want to. The new kid.
Yeah. We're desperate. You know, anybody
Louder.
wanders in off the street and will work for free, they can run the place.
Well, you know, unfortunately, you guys aren't in Houston, or I'd come in and help out.
It's only a 4-hour drive. That's where Chef Patrick lives. Get up
Yeah,
here.
well, maybe I'll carpool with Chef Patrick then.
I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a glutton for punishment. But that's totally
Well, I
up to
just
you.
wanted to stop by and say, hey, guys, I'm on the road going to Louisiana, so I figure I've been listening since early this morning. So I just wanted to say hey, and Izzo, I hope you stay down here for a while.
Me too. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
No, brother. Hey, talk to you guys later.
You got. Thank you. You feeling all right over there? It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy. And the problem is you wind the recovery issue. It's like it takes a while, and you're constantly in that position. And I'm not making excuses.
It's okay.
You are
I'll
constantly
take any
in
help I can
position,
get.
and your blood flow is being caught up at your chest level because your muscles are always under tension. And working
and I'm
out
fat.
for sissies.
And I'm fat. Let's don't forget that. I've got a few pounds. I got a few lbs to lose. I'll get there. In the meantime, however, I brought something else for show and tell. This is a Henry repeating arm survival rifle that I'm holding in my hands. It's hard to see because it's camouflage. You
This
see.
is true.
So it's almost like I'm holding just the barrel of a gun. You can't see the rest of it. But you can find these at traguns.com. And have you seen one of these before?
No, I have not.
All right, so let me show you how this thing works. It's a standard 22. It's a 22 long rifle. You remove the back from the stock. You then turn a little knurled knob here at the base of the barrel, and once you do that, the barrel comes off of the stock.
Oh, look at that storage
goes
in there.
into the stock itself.
Think of your secretary.
Then there's a little knob here just below the action. You spin the knob, the action comes
That
off.
whole thing stores there.
You slide the action into the
Oh,
stock,
you're really thinking of your secretary.
and then you pop the cap back on the stock, and you have that. You
have
have
a portable. It's like tiptoe through the tulips.
about the size of a little mandolin.
Oh, yes, look at that.
Isn't that cool?
That is fantastic.
Those things
You
are
pack that in
about.
your suitcase and get it on past TSA.
These things will actually float.
You could feel that.
Survival rifle. I mean, this is, if you don't have one of these in your arsenal at home, you're going to die. Let's face it. If you don't have one of these, you might as well kiss your butt goodbye. So Go to TRA. Damn, I'm still breathing hard.
Go to TRAguns.com. They're the absolute best way to wind up buying a firearm. But I don't have a firearm. I don't know about guns. Go to TRAguns.com. Look at it. Get a gun. Be an American.
No kidding. And Kurt, by the way, Kurt is there, and he will be happy to.
Hey, Kurt, do you have the AR yet? You know, the one I can wind up borrowing from here time to time?
Hey, Matt Locke, wherever you are, have you picked that? Have you picked that up yet? I bet he hasn't. I'm guessing
it was not there.
Oh, it wasn't there?
It was not there. He went by.
You know what? They're doing this to tease me.
What the hell?
They're doing this to tease me. This is unfair.
I thought it was supposed to be there.
Last time, is there anybody else who has military experience in this MoJo? Anybody here?
Believe it or not, Ron.
Ron? Okay, I'll give you that. What branch of the service were you in?
Air Force.
Oh, it's Smart Branch. Okay, my cousin's career Air Force. Are you military, law enforcement? So it's between me and you.
Okay.
So we get the AR. It's a simple.
So Kurt's not sending. Okay, so
look, he's built like the drill sergeant. I was the drill sergeant.
See,
but you were law enforcement, which I respect totally as well. I grew up in that.
Yeah, but as far as that goes, it's like anybody can be a cop today's day and age. Not anybody could be in the Air Force.
It's TRAguns.com. One of Doc's biggest strengths, which
not stopping a train was not one of them.
Apparently, no, you can't do that as a human being.
I'm going to pull Superman. No, I'm not.
However, he was very good in the production room.
I'm glad we're all together for this Thanksgiving family reunion. Let's say what we're all thankful for.
I'm thankful the whole family's here.
I'm thankful I can spend the holiday with my family.
And what about you, Johnny?
I'm just thankful I wasn't born in Jackson.
It's a magic family reunion weekend. All weekend long, you'll hear the greatest family acts of rock and roll.
We gotta go home. Is that all, Johnny?
I'm also thankful I'm not an Osmond or a Turner or a Lanigan or a Clinton.
Magic's Family Reunion Weekend starts tomorrow at 4 on WMJI.
MoJo 50.
Oh, yeah. How's that? Does that sound big boy right there? Little shout, little jingle. Doing it right. Those, again, thanks to Doc Thompson, who I guess he felt like he had done all the work before he went on vacation. So thanks a lot. We'll find more of the little Doc.
More of him laying around, spread all over.
No kidding. A little Doc Thompson goes a long way. Any more communiques coming in over there?
Nah.
Have they gone silent?
No, they won't shut up. B from the SAV, love my Henry Survival. My son was able to shoot it when he was much younger. It's a must-have gun. Henry's a great brand, too. Hashtag what I learned today.
It's one of the, you can shoot it with your left hand. I mean, you can. That's the great thing about it.
Sorry, whatchamacallit also says that real Brad Staggs is turning knobs and stuffing barrels in butts.
See? Oh, yeah. I was bell deficient. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
Guess who's back to run for president? Everyone's favorite socialist, Bernie Sanders. That's who. He threw his hat into the ring officially on Tuesday, and that means we'll hear the buzzwords of Medicare for all for the next 2 years. Bernie and his bros seem to be under the opinion that Americans love government-run healthcare unlike ever before. There's just one problem. Recent polls suggest just the opposite is true. According to a just-published Morning Consult poll, support for his government takeover of health insurance has fallen by 50%. Morning Consult tracks the net support number, which is the difference between the share of supporters and opponents. In January, that net support number was 27, and in February, it's dropped to just 12. Going back even further, support has really tanked because as of December, the net difference was a whopping 30. So if you're following along at home, that's a drop of over 50% in just 2 months. The loss of support for Bernie's pet project has been nearly universal, with Democrats dropping from 67 to 56, Independents going from 25 to 14, and Republicans dropping from -13 to -34 in the last month alone. The numbers also suggest that support is going down for government-run healthcare of any kind, as a Morning Consult survey in July 2018 had 62% of likely voters likely to support a candidate who backed establishing a government-run health system. Fast forward to this month, and support is down to 50%. However, Americans seem to love the idea of giving some form of a public option as long as private insurance is still there. All voters support a public option at 76%, while Democrats support at 81%, Independents at 72%, and even Republicans support at 75%. So this should be a fun ride over the next 2 years. This has also been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and let's continue talking over on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
The Daily Mojo.
So Christopher over in the MeWe chat room is picking up a SIG 229 from Tar River.
There, see, that's what I carried, and it's is that the three, Christopher? Is that the 357 SIG round? Let me know on there.
No, sorry, they've already moved on to talking about boobs.
Why wouldn't they be?
Hello, Izzo, me, duh. That's Melissa Jack Hole. Ron has always run the place. That's what Rusty Lugnut says, CEO and president. If you forget that, just ask Ron. He'll remind you. See, Buff Jill Hole. Yay, Brad. He just has short arms. I don't have short arms. My arms are
that's lengthy.
long.
That's lengthy.
I mean, your arms are if you spread your arms out from fingertip to fingertip.
You were touching me from over there, so you're pretty good.
It was quite the experience, quite frankly.
Don't hear me complaining on air, do you?
You're as tall as you are wide. At least that's what they say. All right. Your choice is the good story or the bad story?
I want the bad story.
The bad story. We will give that to you first. A woman who forgave her boyfriend for biting off her nose has been killed by him in a vodka-fueled attack with a hammer, a knife, and a billiard cue.
One more time, please. Are you serious?
A woman who forgave her boyfriend for biting off her nose has been killed by him in a vodka-fueled attack with a hammer, a knife, and a billiard cue.
Continue, please.
You said you wanted the bad story.
Continue.
Car wash worker has admitted to police that he killed his girlfriend with a knife, a hammer, and a billiard cue. Quite sure why you need all three of those.
Was that in the dining room when the butler did it?
Very strange. Oleg Mashadiev.
Oh, there you go. Right there. You go.
Russians. 20 years old. He had previously been spared jail after Alexandra Shapskanova begged a judge not to send him to prison for biting off her nose. However, a year after he got off from that charge, he went on the vodka-fueled rage with Alexandra. She was found dead in the apartment where they lived in Saransk,
That's
Russia.
An argument ender. You are so pissed at your significant other that in a fit of rage, she pissed him off so bad. Think about the kicking fight. He had to pin her down and just take her face and rip that off with his teeth.
You bite somebody. That's in line with the whole biting the ear off and the yuck.
That's pretty ear. I could picture a little bit, but nose, man, you got to get through that cartilage.
It's just I can't even imagine how, unless you're defending yourself, unless you're defending your life. I can see maybe going into a fit of rage, but that just is wow. This guy, and she was hot. Damn
was.
It. Was. Now she's.
You got a good story to wash that out of my mouth?
Yes, actually, I do.
Thanks.
The campfire. Remember the campfire out in California?
No.
It's been. Was it in December, November? When was that? It was late last year. A dog that was lost in the campfire out there was reunited with the family 101 days later. Actually,
keep it away from Joe Biden.
No kidding. I have a little. I think we have some audio
Leah's
here.
mind is racing.
Dad, I'm going to cry.
She's waiting patiently to be reunited with her best friend, a dog named Kingston, who she's been missing
name.
every day.
A lot.
Since the campfire.
I'm going to start crying.
She's been waiting for this moment.
Hi, baby.
All right, this
and
stuff.
Then the dog bit her nose off.
Yeah, this stuff does kind of get to me, though. I do watch those like dogs reunited with the military guys who come back home
every time,
and I'm like, all right. People don't compare to dogs, and we don't deserve dogs. They're so amazing.
Kingston had been missing since the day the campfire started. And 101 days later, Kingston was found and reunited.
Sit. Good boy, shake hand. Oh, you betcha.
He doesn't smell good.
He still smells like skunk.
His family and rescuers think he hunted down skunks and lived off of them until he was found.
When I found out, just about brought me to...
He's going to come back home like a Vietnam vet, and he's going to suffer from dog PTSD at night, waking up hovering over the kids at night now with that 5 mile stare, just like, I don't know, should I kill her? Should I kill her? I said, I've seen stuff. I've seen stuff. I want to lick your face or I want to bite. I don't know.
Can't decide.
Years. I'm just so proud of him. I can't believe it. He's a true survivor.
Gabriel Baleo says his family never lost hope. When they were evacuating, Kingston jumped out of the back of their pickup and ran away. It was so chaotic and dangerous to go after him, so they hoped he would survive.
Did they say campfire or fort? Are they talking about
it was called the campfire. It was that was the name of the fire. It wasn't a campfire.
Okay, so that was the campfire that blew away all the homes and
right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There were two fires out there. One was Northern California. That was the campfire, and one was Southern. It was called something else.
He found his way and he just survived.
And the group who helped him, Friends of the Campfire Cats, well, they have a mission to find as many lost pets as possible.
Well, all together, over 200.
Wow, since we started, yeah.
Yeah, we've rescued a lot.
These volunteers say this is what it's all about for them.
For people that have lost everything, to be able to reunite them with an animal that they thought they had lost is, the light at the end of the tunnel.
They don't want families to ever lose hope.
Because every day I would ask my dad and tell him that we need to go look for him.
And now hope is restored for the Baleos family. They have their Kingston back. And they have a pretty amazing story to tell.
It's just an unbelievable story. 101 days he went missing and he's still here. He used his survival skills to stay alive,
Yeah, but he killed skunks.
Tony, you coming back? It's going to be Pet Cemetery. He's coming back like a different
I
dog.
missed the walks with you.
Madison Meyer, ABC 10 News.
That's pretty cool.
Dog is like, bitch, I was trying to get away from you guys.
I ran and I ran and I ran and you found me. What they say, 200 pets?
Yeah.
That was the fire that they had to keep warning people not to leave bowls of water out for the deer. People were leaving.
Why would you? It's natural selection. And animals are going to have their own survival. And guess what? Some of them are going to turn into jerky. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And they're going to be killed off and the world goes on. You have to wonder how many of those people out there, those rich sycophants who live out there who had like people that they want to get rid of. Like if you're a guy and your wife has dementia, sweetie, you see that thing over that glow in the forest over there? No, that's a new restaurant we're going to try. I don't know what happened to my wife. Lost her in the fire.
It's the old joke. Take her 10 miles outside of town, drop her off. She finds her way home. Don't have sex with her. That's the punchline. That's all I'm saying. It's long been my contention that naps are wasted on kids.
Oh, the naps are brilliant.
In kindergarten, when you put the kids down for it, they don't need. Come on. I mean, at night they're wound up. You just let them run themselves ragged during the day. And then at night, they're tuckered out. You've put them in bed. They sleep all night. But instead, we give them naps during the day.
Oh, kids and dogs, tire them out.
It's wrong to do that. It is damn near child abuse, I say.
Take parenting advice from Uncle Brad.
Instead, as adults, we need naps. We do. Do you take a nap?
Constantly. I don't sleep. I take frequent naps.
In Toronto, and we touched on this a little bit.
What did you touch on?
A couple days ago, but Event Moby has an office up there. They have an open concept waterfront office that has a private nap room where workers can sleep if they feel a little sluggish or just get some alone time in a dark space.
So they're just repeating what Europe does. And Europe has a much better functioning. If you took the European model and applied it over here for our capitalist society, we'd probably be much happier people.
What is it in Japan? You are required to take
exercise and nap, and that's why those psychopaths are up on buildings and whatnot. No, I disagree with that. If I want to get fat, let me get fat.
They're required to take some like 5 weeks vacation.
They're also slaves over there.
Yes, they are. And as a matter of fact, if you ever. The stories that came out of, was it Japan or China a few years ago about the factories where they made the iPhones,
hentai
the
porn?
iPads?
Oh, hentai porn?
It's not porn. It's an art form.
That's right.
They put nets underneath the windows because the employees were jumping out the windows.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. So let's see. It's Event Moby and Google Canada. Spokesman there says nap rooms can be found in the offices around the world.
That's because they have a bunch of big babies working over there, though.
That's true. And actually, there's a Google. No, it's a Facebook employee we have as a listener. Just one.
We do?
Yeah. That's what it says on our.
Okay, make sure you don't ever ban me again. Come on, get on that.
Right.
I've been in Facebook jail over the last 4 months. No joke. 4 times. So I get like 2 days out of it, back in it. So I've had
and Twitter. If you can get me the blue check mark, that's all I'm saying.
That's not bad.
There's a Toronto office there that where we have a wellness space for nursing mothers.
Okay.
See, if we had one of those here, I'd just be hanging out there all day.
Is that wrong?
I mean,
to honor the late great Doc Thompson, you'd be looking for black titty,
or white, or beige, or yellow, or doesn't.
No,
really
you don't
matter.
got yellow fever.
For the right price, I can be anything. So you can go in there. You can nurse as a mother. You can take a break. You can take a nap. Another
could take a peek at titties.
Space at the Another space at the engineering headquarters in Kitchener, Ontario, features 2 high-tech recliners with large spherical privacy visors.
What are you doing under there?
Well, they say it's for extra tired employees who just want to sleep. They just want to sleep.
Fap.
Whatever if that's what it takes to get you to relax at the office during the day.
I'm sorry, she's looking good.
Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner's looking
she
good.
just popped up on TV.
She's looking good.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck gets that?
No, he doesn't. Not anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're getting divorced.
Gotta stay up on
They're
my
still
pop
buddies,
culture.
though.
I'm sure they are.
So they have other inclusivity initiatives. They have gender neutral and accessibility and accessible washrooms. Again, a room for nursing mothers or nursing fathers. Let's not leave them out. And a meditation prayer room with a foot washing station.
Okay. I'm not into feet.
No, but if you are, they might as well be clean. Yeah. They say it's a phenomenon that seems primarily centered in technology and marketing sectors. Yeah, you don't see that like on the assembly line. Bob and Cindy and
Bob and
David,
Bob, Neil and Bob.
They're all sitting there putting the cars together on the assembly line, and Bob suddenly says, I need to take a nap.
No, because that wouldn't fly because it's production, and production has got to be constant, and then that's why their advocation of automation. So just like your McDonald's, you know what? Hey, I want $15 an hour. We got customers coming in. It's noon. It's lunchtime. You're not going to be able to take your nap now, even though they'll get a McDonald's union that will probably endorse, well, you got to let my client take a nap. So they're going to say, fine, we're going to get some kiosks, which, by the way, make no sense, because if you've gone to a McDonald's kiosk,
right,
you type in your order, then take your order and you go up to the counter.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Ran into one of those in Nashville. It was the biggest cluster I've ever seen. One of the screens wasn't working, and then you had a bunch of people who were 80 years old who didn't know how to use it.
That's not fair.
Didn't know what a touch screen was.
Yeah, that's not fair to them.
And
they're trying to weed out the old people.
I think so. And so, yeah, you punch it in on the thing, and then you'd walk up with a slip to the counter, and then, honestly, behind the counter, no one spoke English. And, it was a giant, it was very confusing. There are Ronstadt offices, that's that temp service. They have clients with nap rooms. They credit their existence to a new generation of workers who increasingly blur the line between their home and work lives. Millennials are spending a lot more time than our parents did at work. They also work crazy hours. They work different hours.
They're not working, though. But everybody thinks, but that's the problem is everybody thinks that now, like Google, I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of what it looks like. It is a giant playground. And I kind of agree with that to a degree, because school, the reason why kids are not learning in today's society is because school was set up for modeled after the Industrial Revolution. The bell rings, you get up, single file line down the hallway, sit at your desk when the bell rings. It was created so kids will get ready for manufacturing jobs after they got to school. So now kids don't learn today. And I understand that you're paralleling that to an environment where you're going to be like Google-esque and, hey, let's make it fun and whatnot. But you are creating lazy people. A body at rest stays at rest. I mean,
body in motion stays in motion.
So there you go. You just learned physics today with Brad and Dom. But
two bodies in motion,
they have a fun time.
Can create an audience.
You are not going to get work done. So I mean, and it's like firefighters. I mean, they're modeling stuff after firefighters. Sit, eat in their homes. But well,
they're saying that this.
I don't agree with that.
It could also address mental health issues. So some of these rooms have a couch and diffuser oils. A salt lamp. What's a salt lamp?
Salt lamps. So it is a salt block on a lamp, and it's supposed to give off this ambiance of radiance of salt and whatever. And supposed to be healing practice.
I actually have a friend with one of those in California. I was wondering what
you're
that was.
creating a spa. Do you want to work when you're relaxed?
No.
No, you have to.
No, that's my big problem. If I sit down,
you're not
right.
Look at this show. We both sit down, and it sucks.
I know, right? We need, what we need is a salt lamp in here.
There you go.
They have mats for stretching.
Isaac, get on that. Order us a salt lamp, please.
A couch for resting and napping. A lot of people that are not declaring disability or mental disability, she notes. You know, our percentage of people who are not declaring themselves mentally incapable is still way down. No one's doing it. We're working in a highly sales-driven environment where there's a lot of stress, so we really wanted to create a space where people can relax and take a nap.
See, Saddle Trap kicked in the face says, we didn't land on the moon by taking naps like a bunch of commies. That's right.
I guess you're right. Now, if you are at work and you get bored, there are some things that...
could listen to MoJo 50.
You could do that. And I was looking around. I'm going to call this the vape break because...
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You could just vape.
You're going to go gay. You're going to go gay.
Just because I have a little oral fixation does not mean.
Or vegan.
So here's some of the... I did that once in high school. Here's some of the websites around the interwebs that they suggest that you can go and just spend a little time. And Isaac, can you take my screen full screen here? There's just one called Garfield minus Garfield.
Remember the cat?
The Garfield. It's the Garfield cartoon strip, but they've taken Garfield out.
What's the point?
It's funny because the
So it's
guy,
John, right?
John, ends up talking to himself. So
no Odie either?
Right, there's no anything, so it ends up looking like the guy's crazy.
Oh, that is a great concept. No, that is funny.
First panel, there's nothing. The second panel, he's sticking his head around the corner. I think the guy across the street is a zombie. And then the third panel, there's nothing.
Nothing.
So it's Garfield minus Garfield. It's a shame that I don't have anybody else to hang out with.
That is funny.
And then 2 blank panels. That's one of the things you can do if you are at work.
I liked Garfield. I liked Calvin and Hobbes. And I was a huge Far Side fan.
Oh, I love the Far Side.
Huge Far Side fan.
And Bloom County. Bloom County was a great one with the penguin.
That was a little too intelligent for my taste.
I don't know. There was the penguin, and another website you might want to just wander through is called peopleofwalmart.com. Isaac, if you would please. These are just some of the people you will find at Walmart.
His question
people
number 1.
Who have taken...
And you know it's coming. Would you?
Well, first of all, we're not sure that's a chick from
No,
the back.
you don't get that. You're safe today. You're safe today.
No.
Because you cannot prejudge.
No. No.
Yellowstone is about to blow. God comes down and says, all right.
I take Yellowstone.
Okay.
These are some of these pictures. Let's see here. There's
oh man, he was at. Can I say the BUK word? Can I say the Asian?
Sure. No.
He looks like he was at. He just got out of a Walmart Bukkake Fest.
No one knows what that means anyway. Pie Face is the name, and again,
I'm sure it's more like Nut Face.
Peopleofwalmart.com. That's just
cream pie face.
That's just page 1. Here's Mr. Nasty Time.
All right, those are that's me in 2 years if I don't slow down.
These are all the people that you would see if you wandered through a Walmart store. This is a rather, I don't know, you would call him rotund.
Sure.
He's wearing the Confederate flag on the back of his shirt, which and there's someone sitting in front of him.
He had the common courtesy to tuck in his pants.
Right.
Or tuck in his shirt, excuse me.
There is
vagina.
Boob.
That says vagina boob.
Yes, it does.
And it's a guy.
Someone's T-shirt walking through Walmart.
Multicolored crayons.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Right there. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with that one.
F off.
There you go.
It said on the back of...
there you go.
Of her shirt. It's just pretty amazing.
He's color coordinated, ready for the Irish Day Parade.
I'm telling you, you could get lost on this website. The colorful clown with a tie-dyed shirt and a clown. Wow. Whoa.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
They're covered.
In a heartbeat.
They're covered.
No. Isaac, they were covered.
They were covered.
If she was at Walmart like that and didn't get arrested, she's acceptable. What you 20?
Wow.
You must really not like boobs.
Wow.
Nightmares.
Okay.
We know something about Isaac now, don't we?
There you go. What I learned today about Isaac.
Wow, I'm telling you, there's a picture of that one.
Every party has to have a pooper. Isaac's the guy who comes in and goes, now, gentlemen, no, breasts are not appropriate for the format on the show, and I just don't approve of it. Interning 101, no boobs.
Just one of those things.
Jeez.
Oh, man, I've never seen Isaac jump that quickly in my life.
Put a pair in front of him, let's see what happens.
Here's a story that could directly be a Friday leftover. Man robs a bank, then gets naked. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, authorities there say they arrested a man who robbed a bank, then stripped naked, and then ran down the street throwing stolen money. A spectacle that he somehow thought would jumpstart his career as a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, the FBI says the 25-year-old Alexander Sperber is charged with bank robbery. So let me get this straight. You decide that to jumpstart a faltering comedic career, you're going to commit a felony.
This is the way the world is turning right now because people are not being held accountable for anything. So as legitimate as he, and this, I'll take this on a serious route. This moron who thought he was going to be stupid, get exposure, he thinks there's absolutely nothing wrong with what he did.
Federal complaint says the man told authorities he parked his car at the bank. He made a gun motion with his hand. He demanded money from the teller, who gave him about $4,700 in a bag. The officials say that there was a red dye pack in the said bag. It exploded. It stained his clothes and a cast that was on his left wrist. So he was a handicapped bank robber at the same time. The Sun Sentinel reported Sperber was taken to a hospital found to be coherent and uninjured. It's unclear if he has an attorney because I doubt that he has the $4,700 anymore.
No.
Just saying.
And he's not going to have you never know. He may have a career after this. People want stupid stuff.
You got him his 15
You know
minutes
what he
in the
doesn't
sun.
have? He doesn't have a pair of breasts on the screen to enjoy. That's what he doesn't have. Because Mr. Killjoy behind the glass over there is like, I don't think it's appropriate. I'm generation. I'm sensitive. But you got offended by those
It's
boobs,
not that
didn't
I
you?
got offended by it. It's
Yeah,
just that
you did. You
that's what I would see when I was 14-year-old scrolling through Cinemax and HBO, and I don't want to be reminded of that.
They were rather
Oh my
misshapen.
gosh.
They were slightly misshapen.
There's no such thing as bad boobs.
Oh, I don't know. You
No.
haven't heard the story
Agree
about
to
me
disagree.
looking through the keyhole at a family member when I was very young.
You know, it's like fast food when you're starving. There's no
I
such thing as fast
still
food.
need brain bleach from that day.
It's all right.
Still to this day, I can picture them through the keyhole in the house, and it's quite possible that I still need therapy. I don't know. It's quite possible. Remember, too, that the Building America segments will be making a return very soon. If you have a business, or if you know somebody with a business that you would like to see featured on Building America, just send an email with said information to the following email address. That would be beth@mojo50.com, beth@mojo50.com, and we will return those. They'll return to the air here very soon. Over on the Twitter, Common Sense Train Reform tweeted a picture of said bukkake.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Looking right now. That
Wow.
is cream pie face bukkake.
Wow. That's amazing. Kirk Nookin all day jackhole. Real Brad Staggs is a guaranteed captive audience. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm okay.
I'm taking it as something along the lines of people are just, feverishly. What was that word they were using earlier? Feverishly. Then I said, well, it was something else. And frantically. There's pleasure involved.
Techru tweeted, pretty sure the word escaping me was shit lord, but my brain was trained early in my broadcast engineering days to block out the 4-letter words.
Yeah,
if they
George
are
Carlin.
appropriate,
George Carlin.
Yeah.
7 dirty words you can't say on there.
if they're appropriate, we this is an adult show. We just there's some things we avoid. Now I forget why I was wanting to say it. I know y'all will say it though. Yeah,
Shitlord.
We just did. You're welcome. And again, I feel like I've been negligent and ignoring the folks in the MeWe chat room.
Rusty Lugnut says Brad Staggs seen baseball in tube sock boobs, and it took
See, those
that's
would be
it.
bad ones.
It took me a second to comprehend what he was saying, and then I thought, oh yeah, you put it in there, and then I immediately go down. I get it. But here's the deal. Let's not mince words here. As a man, I have come to accept over the years. Thank you. There is nothing that I can't be bought for. Nothing.
Yes, everybody. I totally agree with you. Every person has a price tag, and we've gone over that with the gutter water. We've the halftime show at. Were you in here? Or was that last week with Brandon? What would you do live on stage and on camera at the Super Bowl during halftime? Would you perform a sexual act on a?
Of course.
On a person of the same sex.
Of course. How much money are we talking?
100,000.
I could buy a lot of. I could pay off a lot of debt with that.
So, wow, did I hit your number?
I could
hit your number that early?
I could pay a lot of debt with that, yeah.
$100,000. It's live on television. It is there at the Super Bowl. $100,000.
Am I allowed to have audio accompany it so I can give you a color play-by-play?
You'd be busy.
Well,
I'm not sure you'd be talking.
It's not wrong.
I don't know. So $100,000, man,
I don't see why not.
Wow.
You know what? You're only going to live once.
Right, but that's why you got to hold out for $1 million.
Yeah, but if you rewind, $1 million's not going to buy you much anything out. But I'm talking about the immediate paying off debt, cost of relocating, if that's the case. If they're saying, hey, $100,000, you do this, and it'll get you out of Chicago tomorrow, you can come down to Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, I'm doing it.
$100,000. Well, you would be famous at that point.
You capitalize off of it. So, Mr. Izzo, we'd like to interview you and ask you what was going through your mind when you said that you would perform lewd sexual acts on a member of the same sex? Well, I wasn't really thinking clear. No, all I was thinking was that's a lot of cheeseburgers I could buy.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
I've not.
Oh, there's one of the first episodes of Black Mirror is it's a pig.
I heard about that.
You need to watch Black Mirror.
I did hear about that.
You watch that. We'll discuss it a little bit. Would you eat a bowl of MoJo wild rice?
Oh, I'd do that for free.
Me too, actually. They just sent 2 big boxes of wild rice.
Brad said box.
The waffle sampler pack. So we've got plenty of work for Chef Patrick to be doing. I'm not sure exactly why he's not in the kitchen already making the MoJo wild rice, because the stuff is. If you've never, you're going to have some this week because it is.
That'd be nice.
The first time I had MoJo wild rice at MoJoWildRice.com, because in your brain you're thinking rice.
But you had said, you corrected me.
It's
said, yes.
It's a grass.
Yes.
It's a long gray. There's really no way to describe it. It's almost a complete protein. You can serve it with either it can be savory, it can be sweet. Matlock, of course, hates sweetness.
Sweet, yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
No sugar for him.
He's communist. But you can have this with chicken. When we did Black Friday in here, Chef Patrick kept bringing in bowls of the last one he brought in was this cubed chicken. It was a savory dish. It was.
That sounds wonderful, but you know who's not getting any? Isaac is not getting any.
Well, no, because he's obviously
Isaac is
breast.
He's anti-breast. It's Isaac who doesn't like boobs.
Yeah, and
what are you talking about? I love them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Too late. You can't back out.
You don't sound very committed to that. I love them as often as possible. Go to MoJoWildRice.com. That will take you to the fabulous. The website. I mean, if you can spell Ministalgia wild rice, go for it. But there's Ministalgia is a lot of letters that don't necessarily seem to want to go together. So MoJoWildRice.com. And before this week is out, we will have some in the studio. Maybe Patrick will make some today, and we can because the stuff will keep for if you cook it and then put it in the freezer, it'll last for like 6 months. If you don't do anything with it, it'll last indefinitely. And if you just put it in the fridge, it'll last at least a couple of weeks. So, yeah. MoJoWildRice.com. Melissa Jackhole Klops is in the shower singing Rod Stewart, If You Want My Body and You Think I'm Sexy. That's over in the chat.
Who was the model?
Who was the model
from the video, the Rod Stewart video, Infatuation?
Oh, it was the blonde. What was her name?
Hot. I'm hot.
Yeah, she was very hot. Shoot. Who was it? Matlock, do you remember who that was?
Mr. Futterman from the Gremlins was
it his
the bad
wife?
guy in the video.
His wife at the same time? Look, Matlock's mouth is moving, but you
can't hear him through you did such a good job with that glass, you can't hear him.
I know. It's pretty amazing. The Conservative Cartel is coming up immediately following this broadcast, unless, of course, you are listening to the podcast, in which case...
you can't see the boobs that were denied to you by Isaac.
Yeah, and then again, if you're listening to the podcast, it could be us immediately following here, the Daily Mojo followed by the Daily Mojo, which is honestly, I mean, it's a lot more fun than Matlock. You don't have to wear earplugs with us.
I'm going to look for boobs.
Yeah, you know who's not looking for boobs?
Isaac.
Isaac will not be looking for boobs. However, this remains your Daily Mojo.